a little bit on the right, and it's scored! Now it's Iniesta, this is it, that's the goal! Beautiful throw down by Bergkamp! Brilliant run by Maradona! It's Haaland! Unbelievable! Weaving through, Mbappe, Harry Kane, kings of football.
Still awake? Just waking up? Well, you couldn't miss it, could you? It's been a while.
Dear Scotland.
Sometimes you've got to go through the agonies to get success.
The World Cup, a childhood dream that is now very, very real.
It's not normal, I get a wee bit excited.
Captaining my country, our country, on the biggest stage of all is as good as it gets.
We've came quite a long way.
We want to make Scotland proud.
Come on, Scotland!
To our supporters, we feel your noise and passion. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you.
This is for the young generation. They get to watch Scotland win the World Cup.
Scotland in Greenland!
Once you were a teller,
The thousands that have made huge sacrifices to be here in person.
now you are free.
Simple geography, basic economics won't stop the plan.
You were a teller.
Be well with it.
I know you'll represent our nation with great spirit and friendship.
That was the river.
Once in a lifetime. You know what I mean?
This is the sea.
To the millions that will be watching at home. The youngsters who will be going to school and recreating magical moments in the playground. The friends and family that have supported us and fueled our dreams.
That was the river.
We know the size of the challenge ahead of us,
This is the sea.
but with challenge comes opportunity.
Good play by Gemland again.
We are focused on making everyone proud. Not just the team, but of our country. It's our time. Let's go.
Behold the day.
Tonight is the night. It's been a generation in the making. Scotland returned to a World Cup for the first time in 28 years. There is a Tartan Army takeover in Boston. And back home, whether you're out and about like those watching at the Hydro in Glasgow, or if you're just sitting on the sofa, stay awake and stay with us, because Steve Clarke is hoping to take his team where no Scotland side has ever gone before, into the knockout stages of a major tournament. Tonight's game will go a long way to deciding whether this group of players can be the history makers. And it's also an historic night for Haiti. They've waited over half a century between their World Cup appearances. Remarkably, they qualified without playing a match at home due to the humanitarian crisis and gang violence in the country. Over 1 million people of Haitian descent, though, live in the US, so you can expect loud, proud, vociferous support on all sides of this stadium. Kickoff is less than an hour away. Just a little earlier in Group C, it ended all square between Brazil and Morocco. Morocco are top of the group on the team conduct score. Brazil in second place, which means that if there is a winner between Scotland and Haiti, then that winner would go to the top of Group C. Just like in France 98, Scotland will face Morocco and Brazil, the 6th and 17th ranked teams in the world this year. So their qualification could well hinge on what happens in this over. Good Good evening, good morning, who cares? Joining me here in the studio, two former Scotland internationals, Scott Brown and Rachel Corsie are here. And we've also got James Morrison's favourite Englishman, Joe Hart, is with us here today. Look, it's a huge game coming up, Scott. It's been a long time in the making, and I don't mean just wait until 2 o'clock for kick-off. It's been a long, long time. There's been near misses. There's been heartbreaking moments for Scotland along the way. And finally, Scotland are back at a World Cup.
Are you blaming me?
I was not...
Because earlier on I was talking about this and Joe agrees. It's totally my fault.
Is it? Why are you taking full responsibility for what was a collective effort?
I'll take full responsibility,
Yeah.
100%. Like, Joe's been to a World Cup. He probably knows what's about. He'll talk you through it. I've been the heartache for the last 28 years. But no, I remember growing up, like France 98 was incredible, and you can see what it means to the supporters and the players as well. They look incredible with their suits on as well, with their nice white shirts. So
I think probably more sensible than the kilts that were worn for the opening game of France 98 in 30-degree heat. That's not going to be for them. Yeah,
that's definitely not for probably most of these lads. I could still imagine.
You could still wear one.
No, I think you could wear one. I'd love to see 90 minutes. You can wear a
Well, he's changed into a Scotland T-shirt for the occasion.
I think the kilt's a bit far.
Rachel, look, it's a huge occasion for the Scotland fans, not just those of them who've made the trip over to Boston, but for the ones who are watching at home as well. And this game against Haiti feels like the one on which qualifying for the knockout stages all rests. Can Scotland afford to play like that, though, to play as if this is a must-win game?
I think that's a little bit of the danger. I think, of course, you look at it, and we've just seen Morocco and Brazil, and you can see the quality that they carry. I think towards the end it died away, potentially the heat affecting them as well. But this is the one where you look at it and you think to get off to a good start would just be enormous. I think there's a slight concern that it becomes that all-or-nothing feel. I don't think we need to play with that sort of additional stress. I think just enjoy the good energy of the fact, yeah, there's pressure, you're playing at a World Cup, yeah, you want to perform, yeah, we want to see the best of what we can produce, but I don't think we need to feel we have to control every element. And I think if the game's open, it suits us a little better, so I hope that we kind of allow ourselves to just settle into our rhythm, because then I think we'll see the best of our players.
Let's take a look then at the team news. And as expected, Steve Clarke has continued with that 4-4-2 formation that he used in the warm-up wins against Curacao and Bolivia when Scotland scored 8 goals between those games. Angus Gunn's only played 45 minutes for Nottingham Forest this season, but he's chosen ahead of Craig Gordon and Liam Kelly in goals. Scott McKenna's missed a bit of training this week, so it's Grant Hanley and Jack Hendry at the back, alongside Aaron Hickey and captain Andy Robertson. Scott McTominay is through his stomach bug. He starts in a 4-man midfield. It means, though, that Ryan Christie misses out. Lawrence Shanklin makes the first major tournament start in a front two with Shay Adams. And it looks as though Haiti are probably going to set up in a 4-4-2 to match with Scotland as well, which we'll get to in just a second. But it was an interesting choice from Steve Clarke. There was a lot of debate as to whether or not he would make a big call in midfield. This time around, it's Ryan Christie who misses out.
Yeah, I think it's due to the game, if I'm honest, and he wanted to get 2 strikers on the park, hopefully create goal-scoring opportunities, and look, Shanklin's scoring goals, and he's had a fantastic season this season, so I think he deserves his opportunity. And if you're going to play him, then there is no better game against Haiti where hopefully you're going to control possession of the game and you're going to have a lot more attempts on goal than hopefully they are.
Talking about attempts on goal, there was a big call to make in goal for Scotland. Angus Gunn has been chosen, Joe. What are your thoughts on that and on the kind of choices that Steve Clarke has had to make?
Well, it was interesting that he chose 3 goalkeepers that haven't played any, much club football this season. I think he only really had Scott Bain at Falkirk, who played a good season and played really well, as Brownie will know a lot more about Scott Bain. But he's made the decision tonight. But I think he made that. I think once Angus Gunn decided he was going to be a Scotland player, obviously his father playing for the country as well, he was his number 1 when he was available. He's had some injuries, but this is a massive, massive night for him, morning, whatever you want to call it, for the Gunn family. It's an incredible honour. But Craig Gordon was massive call for the squad. His whole journey, to get himself back into the frame for this. But I think Steve Clarke's gone with the right decision to put Angus Gunn in. This is the kind of who he's rested his hopes on for Scotland in the future in such a big role, and it'll be a really exciting night for him.
There have been previous campaigns, Rachel, in which Scotland have failed to progress from the group stages. The hope is that this will be the year in which that is different. But following on from a couple of difficult campaigns in the Euros, is that experience that they can use, not necessarily their previous World Cup experience, because these players don't have that, but can they use the tournament experience from the Euros to help them?
We'll have to lean on it. And I think not just that, but now we're in a position where Steve Clarke's been quite disciplined with how he's selected players, and he's chosen at times to be quite almost stubborn by choosing players he knows he can rely on, he knows what they bring. But what that also means is we're coming in this tournament, the players on the pitch have all played numerous times together. That's a massive advantage. You know, so often you away with international duty and the people around about you, you've maybe only played a couple of times and you're thinking, oh, you know, I'll try and link off you and you see what I... This is a group of players that are very, very comfortable with each other. Yes, there's some newer faces, but the core is really stable, and we have to lean on that. We have to make it something that's another positive in our corner. It's tough to progress. We know that, but we have to use all the little things that can add up. And I think, you know, to Scott's point about this is a game we think we can dominate and have the ball. I think there'll be moments in the game where Haiti have the ball. That's, I think, when we carry the most danger.
Well, I don't need to tell you, it has been a long old wait since qualification was achieved back in November, and an even longer one, of course, since France '98. So the Scotland fans have made the journey to Massachusetts in massive numbers. Andy Burke is also out there, and he's been speaking to a few of them.
Well, this is the day the Scotland fans have waited 28 years for, to be back at the World Cup, and the tartan takeover of Boston has been something to behold in recent days, and I've got a few members of the Tartan Army with me now. Back at the World Cup after 28 years, how does it feel?
Absolutely incredible. I remember France '98 like it was yesterday, but I live now here in the States, seeing the Tartan Army all over the place. It's just so cool, man. Absolutely thrilled. Super pumped for the night, mate.
I'm guessing this is your first experience of a World Cup?
Yes, my first experience. The atmosphere is amazing. I'm absolutely buzzing to be here, so it's going to be a great trip. Looking forward to the game.
Yeah, about the game, it's the one Scotland surely have to win tonight if they're to get through this group.
I reckon Shankland's going to show up big time tonight. Get a couple of goals, and that'll be us going right through to the next round. Easy.
Easy, it's bold talk. Do you think it's going to be easy, or Scotland going to take care of Haiti tonight?
They'll do it the Scotland way, but it'll get it done. Steve Clarke, I believe in him, he's there for us since day one, so it's time for us to do it.
So Boston Stadium, as it's being called for the World Cup, is actually in Foxborough. It's about half an hour with good traffic south of the city. It is the home to the New England Patriots, and it is about 3,000 miles away from Hampden Park in Glasgow, which was the scene of that epic back in November.
Good evening. How's the nerves? There's a date with destiny, a chance to become legends.
So what do you reckon tonight? I'm going for a cheeky 1-0 win.
One win, just one win, and almost 3 decades of failure will fade into the annals. Gannon Doak with the tricks and McTominay! Have you ever seen anything like that on the biggest stage of all? Denmark penalty. Denmark level. It's on the way through. That could be the moment of history. He's going to have to stand firm in the face of this. Tierney's only half away. Dorgu 2-2 for the second time tonight. And Scotland have to do it all again. There is time. You have to believe.
This is the beginning of the rest of your life.
Back in it comes. Ferguson's header given away, but it breaks to Tierney! He's going to shoot. Is that got it? No! I have never seen anything quite as incredible and dramatic as Kenny McLean, with practically the last kick of the ball to absolutely
Well, obviously, any excuse to show it again, but also, did Scotland show in that they can go into high-pressure situations, into those must-win games and deliver?
Yes. I honestly just love watching that. I hope that's been a major feature today in camp for the players. It's honestly outrageous. The feeling that night was incredible, and I think so many people have spoken about, you know, so many teams have a talisman. And I think, actually, we have a lot of characters who've shown over the course of the campaign here and in other moments that actually we've lots of players that can step up. And I think over the course of these 3 games, we're going to need different characters. Each game's going to require different players to have moments like that and actually step up and take them. And I just think the group of players we have, we even are debating the team, you know, we've got options. We can play slightly different ways. We can be slightly more defensive. We can be braver. We're going braver tonight. We're playing with the 2 up front. McTominay is one of the 2 in midfield. He'll join in. I just think we're in such a positive place that I just hope that we can maintain that energy, because we're going to need it throughout these games, no doubt.
But the reason that I'm saying is it proof that Scotland are able to get past that kind of game is because I think the collective mindset throughout it was, especially when the equaliser went in on, 81 minutes, was, do you know what, a great goal's been scored early on. It's all gone incredibly well. And Scotland are going to, you know, it's going to be glorious defeat once again. And,
look at Joe Green.
With
a smile on his face as well.
Yes, though, Kelly, what was that feeling when Dorgu scored? Because of with the 28 years of not making it. For them to go again, that's huge character.
But you were asking about what was it like?
Yeah.
The whole nation just sunk because we were like, we're so close. You're 9 minutes away and you're like, no, we've done it. We've just messed up. And then you see Kieran going up, fantastic. And look, Kenny, I'm shouting at Kenny, mate, 3v2, relax. We've been in these situations before. It's not been great. You played in the game, actually.
Yeah, I was there.
Like, relax, keep the ball put in the corner and we'll take the 3-2. But at the end, and you see the celebrations and what it means to the nation. It's been 28 years in the making, and everyone talks about it. It's like England take it for granted. They've been to so many World Cups and Euros. This is incredible for us, and everyone says, like, it's brilliant for a World Cup, but see when your nation's in it, it means so much more. It puts a smile on everyone's face.
Yeah, and when you look at that squad of players, and you can compare them to sort of previous Scotland squads, there's a lot of experience in there. You know, there are a lot of older players who are in their 30s. There's a lot of players who are up in, like, dozens of caps. And that's been a deliberate move by Steve Clarke. And I think Andy Robertson has been used by him to try and help shape that club mentality at international level.
Yeah, it's good because it's a lot about experience. And you've got younger ones coming into the squad. Like, you've got Lewis Ferguson now, 25 caps. I still see Fergie's a young lad coming through, but he's matured and he's in there. You've got Ben Doak as well, who's been fantastic. But I think that's the best thing, it's that club mentality. And Robbo, McGinn, like, McGinn's lively, bubbly personality. You see what he does in the press, you see what he's like on the pitch, 2 total different characters. And that's what you need in a good dressing room. You need people that are going to lift it when it's down, that can also install confidence. But then, as Rachel says, you need game changers, you need game winners, and we've got a lot of them.
Time is ticking to kick off. How are the nerves? Let's get back out to Boston. Ailey Barber is there with former Scotland winger Neil McCann.
Well, Kelly, look at this here in Boston. The atmosphere is building. It has been electric all day in the city. Neil McCann alongside me. How lucky are we to be right here on the centre circle?
Very lucky, but very unlucky. Not to be involved in something. This is one of the very few times where I've been completely jealous. Never got to play in a major championship. To be involved in the centre circle right now, what we're doing, is absolutely amazing. To watch Scotland at a World Cup, that's stuff of dreams, and I think we'll get a brilliant result tonight.
28 long years it's been. You were a young player at the time when Scotland were playing in France, and I mean, you must have thought that the opportunity would potentially come your way, but it's had to wait till these guys behind us to get back there.
Yeah, I was close at the time watching the France 98, and then tournament by tournament passed us by. You lost a couple of playoffs along the way. But I've got so much admiration for this group, Ailey, and I think as a group they've really grown in the major competitions. I think Stevie's done a remarkable job, delighted with his extension, and I just feel that there's something special about this group of players. I think they feel really confident. I think there's a wee swagger about us, and the last 2 games have given us a lot of confidence with so many players getting game time. I can't wait for it to start tonight. I honestly just can't wait. It's a tough game though.
It is a tough game, and I can't wait either, but the 4-4-2 that we saw in those warm-up matches, is what he's stuck with tonight.
Yes.
A little change with John McGinn coming in for Ryan Christie. There were big question marks about who would play in goal, who would come in at the back with Scott McKenna injured. What do you make of the starting 11? Is that the strongest 11 that Steve Clarke had available tonight?
I think if we're all given a set of players, we might add one or two changes, but I don't think you can argue with Steve's selection. I think it's really robust. There was a lot of criticism potentially against Steve and the team in the Euros in terms of maybe playing a little bit of a handbrake on. Nobody can say anything about tonight's team in terms of two strikers, Ben Gannon Doak, flying machine on the outside. Hopefully he'll provide ammunition. McTominay's back fit again after his little illness. John McGinn, the team. What's not to like? Throw into the mix. We've got two attacking fullbacks. It's just really important, Ailey, that we get a wee bit of security with Lewis Fergus just to control that area in front of our two centre backs, and then we might just be celebrating at the end of the evening. I think we're celebrating anyway, but with 3 points hopefully.
Hopefully 3 points, which would put us top of the group as well.
Absolutely.
Let's not forget that. But in terms of the build-up to this, there's been a lot of discussion about how perhaps the last two European Championships, there's been a little bit of disappointment. You look at this tonight, it's the biggest stage that there is, the World Cup. This place is packed with Tartan Army. How do these players use previous experiences, use the atmosphere in here to a positive effect tonight? How hard is that to do?
I think it'll be difficult, but having spoken to one or two of the guys, if you remember when they went in again, played against Germany, the host nation, I mean, it was a poor performance, it was a poor result. I think that experience lasts a long time in the mind. So what did I do wrong? What would I do better if I got a chance again? This is an even better chance. It's at the World Cup, it's not at the Euros, and I hope that experience will pay dividends tonight, because sometimes emotionally you get caught up in it. But because of those two major championships we've been at already, I feel they're calm, and I feel as a group there's a real confidence that they can go and hurt teams. Haiti will provide a real threat on the counter-attack. They're quick on the break. I just think Stevie Clarke's got that tactically spot on the last couple of games and how to deal with a similar opposition, and I'm so excited about tonight.
The excitement is just building so much. We felt it over the last few days. It's reaching fever pitch in here. Cannot wait to get things started. Scotland back in the World Cup.
Ailey and Neil, thank you very much. Now, the World Cup does throw up some incredible stories, and Scotland's is a great one, but there perhaps hasn't been one before like that of Haiti. Head coach Sébastien Migne has never set foot in the country. Many of their squad have never even played a game there, but against the odds, they qualified. This is how they line up this evening. So, as suggested, it looks as though they're going to set up in a 4-4-2 like Scotland. Captain Johnny Placide, once of Oldham Athletic, starts in goal. Centre-back Ricardo Ade is nicknamed The Wall. He played the most minutes for Haiti in qualifying. Jean-Ric Bellegarde starts in midfield. He's made 83 Premier League appearances for Wolves. And there's another Premier League player in attack, Sunderland striker Wilson Isidore. He scored on his first Haiti start in March. And there are also so many amazing individual stories for the Haitian players and for their fans too, because a US travel ban makes it nearly impossible for fans from Haiti to get to the tournament. And along with concerns over immigration policy for Haitians who are living in the US, despite all of this, they will be backed by a passionate following. Andy Burke has more.
Well, of course, we are swept up in the story of Scotland's return to the World Cup, but this is also a landmark occasion for Haiti returning to the world stage, and I'm joined now by a couple of Haiti fans, Jeremiah and Jean. And Jean, just how excited are you to see your team playing in the World Cup?
I am so excited. I've been a huge soccer fan my whole life, and it's the first time in my lifetime that Haiti has been in the World Cup, so I'm just so excited to be here.
Jeremiah, it's obviously a difficult time back in Haiti at the moment, a lot of problems. Talk to us a little bit about them and how the World Cup kind of fits into the current picture in Haiti right now.
I mean, that's definitely fair. So it's no secret that there's a bit wrong with Haiti right now. Political instability, danger, gang violence. But, I mean, we can all come together with the beautiful game. Like, it brings us all together. Everyone's back home. Everyone back home is rooting for Haiti to kind of do well. And it brings everyone together, so it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think the World Cup will be viewed back home? Is this one of those occasions where the country stops and, as Jeremiah says, comes together to see how their national team will do?
Absolutely. This is one of the things that, like, every Haitian, no matter like where you are in the world, no matter what you're doing, when they play, like, you stop and you watch. So everyone, I'm sure, is really excited, even back home.
It's an extraordinary story that Haiti qualified, but of course they didn't play a home game at all during the qualification campaign, so it's quite an achievement to be here.
No, definitely. And I saw that. Luckily, everyone comes together, and we had to play some of our home games in Curacao, but it's really amazing to see how other countries even unite to help us, and they cheer us on, so it's truly amazing.
How are you feeling about the game, Scotland? It's a big game for both teams. Are you confident that perhaps Haiti can spring a surprise and win today?
Yeah, I'm really confident. I'm thinking final score maybe Haiti 3-1. I think Scotland might get lucky and get one. So yeah.
What do you think, Jeremiah? How's this one going today?
I definitely agree. I'm thinking 2-1. I think 2-1. I think Haiti's going to show the world. So it's going to be, we're in for a treat.
Andy, thank you very much. Good to hear from the Haitian fans. And as the clock ticks towards kickoff and the atmosphere is building inside the stadium, it is also building in Glasgow. Not too long to wait now. The teams will be walking out in less than 20 minutes, and the crowd are starting to get ready for kickoff. And, of course, in the build-up, this has become quite the iconic image. Scott McTominay mid-air against Denmark. It's been in the National Portrait Gallery in Edinburgh. It's been on the side of a building at Hampden. And it's been on a limited edition £20 note. But the goal, perhaps, is a symbol of how his career has skyrocketed in the past couple of years. A Scudetto, a Serie A Player of the Season award, and now a nation turns to their talisman to spearhead a World Cup campaign.
Scott, great to see you.
Nice to see you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Happy World Cup. We're here.
Yeah,
it's
we're here.
About to get properly underway.
Yeah.
I just wonder, when you think back to that wee boy that kicked a football around for the first time, could you imagine being in a World Cup?
Definitely not. When you're a young kid, you never expect something like this with the atmosphere and everyone around and stuff, and for us to experience this and be able to feel the environment and the feeling of everybody involved is special. But as a young kid, definitely not, no.
Were you 21 when you made your debut?
Yeah, I think I was 21.
Yeah. Can you sort of pick big moments in Scotland shirts that really stick in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, the standout moment was the game against Denmark for us all. It was probably the maddest game of football I've ever played in my life. God knows what it was like watching for everybody else, but
stressful.
Yeah, stressful. But that's the beauty of football, and that's what everybody loves about the game, that it can just throw moments at you from nowhere, which you never expect.
It's like Michael Jordan there. Look how long he's in the air. It's incredible. Oh, it's unbelievable.
I know you're a big Michael Jordan fan, and he is very much about the percentages and being a winner. It's just all about winning for him. Do you tap into sort of other athletes who have that history of success to try and get their little mindsets and see what they've done?
Yeah, whenever I watched The Last Dance for the first time in COVID, I don't know, it made me feel different to any other athlete that I've ever watched before, because the way that he approaches it every single game. I remember he said a famous quote that was, whenever somebody arrives to the stadium, they could be watching him for the first time. So whenever anybody else turns up to the stadium, you have to think like, some of these people are coming to watch you for the first time. So if you're not running around and you're not giving your absolute best and the little details in football, then a young fan could be watching you for the first time and walking away going, wasn't that great, that? So it's like every game is so important, even if it's a friendly.
It's unbelievable! Scotland confirmed their return to the greatest show on earth.
It's just incredible to have Scotland at a World Cup again. I mean, how do you kind of cope with that weight of a nation, that carrying of a nation?
I think it's obviously a subject that everybody knows. There's pressure and there's a weight of many people in Scotland who are wanting us to succeed and do well, but just as long as you know that you're prepared right, you go onto the pitch, you're dialed in, you focus on everything that you're doing, take it from there, your quality will end up coming out, and if it doesn't, then you have to find a way for the quality to come out. So for us, just go out there and embrace it.
Since 2023, Scott McTominay has had 16 goal involvements for Scotland. That is 7 more than anyone else. Can you understand the development and the progress that he's made?
For me, it's since he's left Man United. He's went over to Italy and he's really enjoyed his football, and I think it's helped. Billy Gilmore's went over with him as well. He's got a wee partner in crime there, and like I feel for Billy not making the World Cup, because he's been huge for the nation. But he's went from strength to strength, and there's not many Scottish people recently that's been nominated for a Ballon d'Or. So fair play to him to taking that step as well, because it must have been a huge step in his football career.
Phil Jones, his former teammate, was talking on 5 Live the other day and saying, actually, you know, he's often played as a 6, but that's not his natural position. He much prefers playing further forward. I think Steve Clarke at one stage had him in as centre-back, which he was referring to in the press conference the other day. But that more advanced role, Rachel, is something that you touched on earlier. He wants to go and get involved.
He does, and I think probably in the Bolivia game, you know, it was him and Ferguson that will be tonight again. And when you're in a 2 in midfield, it can be hard because a lot of teams, I mean, it looks like Haiti will go player for player, but often you're underloaded there. So you've got to think the work rate off the ball is really demanding. It's really tough. And I thought, is this going to leave us exposed at times? He was honestly sensational. He was amazing. He would pick the ball up, he'd drop deep, he'd shift it, and of course he can do that. We know he's an excellent footballer. But then what he can also do is he would start moves and he would arrive in the box. I think the goal he actually ends up getting, he starts that move in our own half, and within 3 passes he's there to finish it off. And, you know, just to what Scott's saying, his growth and how much he's improved, and even just listening to him, you can tell he has that character about him. He just wants to get better. He loves playing, he loves competing, he loves being a winner. And he just always wants more. And I think for any young player or any sports person, you can lean into that and just love that and think, yeah, I want a bit of that. And I'm so glad that he plays for Scotland.
Steve Clarke has talked a lot about the fact that this is going to be a real squad tournament, particularly because of the conditions, and he's going to have to use a lot of players over the 90 minutes. And maybe that was part of the reason that there was so much speculation about who was going to be included in midfield. Were you surprised that John McGinn was the name that seemed to be bandied around as maybe the player who would miss out? Obviously, he starts today, but it seemed as though he might be the player who might miss out.
You can see with the goal involvement, John and Scott are way beyond everybody else. And like, I feel for Ryan Christie as well, because he's done really well. And he's jumped in between playing centre midfield out in the left. But John's going to probably play out in the left as well, but he'll tuck in for Robbo going around him. But like, John's been fantastic for Scotland for many, many years. And like small things, this is what John does really, really well. He arrives onto the ball, he's got unbelievable finishing ability. That's power, OK? He's had that his whole career. But the running in behind, the willingness, like, that composure, I'm still wanting to pass that. And he wants to score goals, and it's just, like, even this, it's a fantastic finisher. This is quality. Out, far away, bending around, using the bodies in there, and small details, runs in behind. He uses his body really, really well. But even that's fantastic. That's with his weak foot as well. But John's one of these players that he's got a big bum. And right,
famously big bum.
It's humongous, honestly, and that's cultured. But he uses it because you never, like, I would never tell somebody to stand against somebody and try and hold them off. John's complete beats that rule because he wants to use body contact, he wants to roll you, he wants to drive away, and he believes that he's stronger than most. And you can see the size of his thighs and his calves and his bum, and it's power in there, and that's what makes John, and that not a lot of people have got that in the game.
Rachel, talk to me about Ben Gannon Doak, because while he can create issues, does the final ball sometimes need a little bit more work?
I think it's something he has to keep working on for definite, and probably you take the 2 warm-up games, the Curaçao and Bolivia game, and the perfect example of that. I think in the Curaçao game he got into great areas, and sometimes it was that delivery, it just didn't go into an area where we had someone or it was overhit, and that's always a challenge. He's still a young player. It's amazing to think, I think he's got 14 caps, and he's only 20, so he's got lots of more games to come, and in his career itself he's doing absolutely brilliantly well. But I think tonight, if he's going to make that impact in the game, we've got to see more of those deliveries and more of the involvements he had in the likes of the Bolivia game, where he was able to take defensive transitions into really good attacking opportunities. And if there's moments when Haiti are quite condensed, I think he's the sort of player, he's great in tight areas. He only needs a very small amount of space to be able to create half a yard because he's got that explosive pace. Then it's about the deliveries. We've 2 strikers in there tonight. There's going to be bodies in the box. There'll be players crashing at the back post. If he can find him, pick out a pass, I think we'll get chances off that.
Well, it looks great inside the stadium in Boston, so let's head back there. James McFadden has just about got his voice back after Hampton in November. He's on co-commentary duty again tonight. James, you were really confident ahead of the game against Denmark. You said it was just something destined about Scotland's victory in that game. Do you feel the same confidence today?
I feel even more. I think the game against Denmark was potentially, it just felt like it was going to happen just because it felt like it was our time. Coming into this game, I don't think the preparation could have gone any better. I know there's been a few niggles, you always get that, and obviously a huge blow to lose Billy Gilmour, but in terms of the performances on the pitch and the friendlies and what we wanted to see, I think we've saw that in abundance, and that gives me great confidence coming into the game tonight against a dangerous side, don't get me wrong, but Scotland at their best beats a Haiti at their best for me every day of the week.
James, those Scotland fans inside the stadium are making themselves heard. We can see the Soul tyres hung all round there. The fans are making lots of noise. They're there in their numbers. We've seen them throughout Boston getting involved with the locals and having a great time out there. How is it being inside the stadium?
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, you're used to seeing the navy blue, but they're all out in the away shirt. And, I mean, it's just full of Scotland fans. The noise when the players come out just to warm up actually took me by surprise. I didn't expect it to be as loud as what it was. And then just before I come on there, the players came back up the tunnel. Absolutely amazing noise in here. No less than we expect from the Tartan Army. They've been brilliant everywhere they've been. Boston has been taken over by the Tartan Army, and that again is no surprise. But it's been absolutely magnificent. I think that it's a time for everyone to enjoy, but they're coming here with belief and hope that Scotland can get the job done, get a victory, and put us in a great place going forward.
James, look forward to hearing from you in just a few minutes' time. The players are coming out very, very shortly indeed. It is very close to getting underway. We're going to talk a little bit about Andy Robertson and the importance of the captain. And, Joe, the importance that we looked at, you know, those experienced players within the group. But you've got someone like Andy Robertson, who's won everything in the domestic game. You've got John McGinn, who's won or just come into this, having won the Europa League. How important are those big match occasions, that big match experience in the squad?
No, they're huge because they're right at the top level. Scott McTominay out in Serie A, obviously with his Man United experience. Unbelievable talent. Unbelievable players. They speak so well, they lead so well, they've been around the best of the best, and they feel like they should be on that stage, and you need that in your dressing room. You need to look over if you're a little bit nervous or if it's a big day for you, to look over and see how they adapt to the situation or how they adapt to the crowd and the atmosphere. They're just great examples Scotland have got.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game, and as you can tell, they're certainly building up the atmosphere across all the stadiums in this World Cup. This is what we expected when we knew that some of these games were going to be played in the USA. But in terms of the real leaders in that side, it's a great story from Andy Robertson. He's gone from working in the Hampden ticket office to leading his side out at a World Cup finals.
Yeah, it's exceptional, and he deserves every single bit of credit that he has done, because he's had to graft. He's had to go out there, and I've seen some of his tweets years ago saying, I need a job, what am I going to do here, and stuff like that. And then you see him going from Queen's up to Dundee United to Hull, and then he's at Liverpool. Like, he's won, as you say, he's won everything, but it's due to hard work.
And he's also talked with real emotional intelligence about the difficulties that he's faced this season, having lost his teammate Diogo Jota at the beginning, and how he was very much in his mind. They were talking about the chances of going to this World Cup together, and now Andy Robertson is there, and Diogo Jota's widow has written to him and said, you're there representing both of you at this game. And there are so many individual stories throughout both of these squads, both for Scotland and for Haiti. Our focus, obviously, though, Rachel, is on Scotland this evening. It is on the home nation, who are back on that world stage. And as the Saltire is unfolded at the ground, what does Scotland need to do in this match in order to deliver for the fans who are watching?
I think, honestly, just start the game on the front foot and bring that energy from the beginning, because I think that allows you to carry that forward. It allows you to grow into the game, get your foot in the ball, make those first challenges. But I think the intensity that you start the game is really important, and that's also what will bring those fans with you.
Scott, what do you think Scotland need to do?
Score a goal.
As many as possible.
Yeah,
but this is an important... I mean, I know you're being flippant, but it's an important point as well, because that's what Scotland have been doing, and that's starting with Lawrence Shankland and Shea Adams up front, is what they have the ability to do.
Yeah, that's the benefit. Last two games, scored 8 goals. Got to take lots of confidence into that, and especially 2 up front as well. You've got Ben Doak, loads of crosses, John McGinn, McTominay wanted to get into the box to score goals as well. So that's going to be a vital point, but throughout the whole league campaign of this, it's going to be how many goals we can score.
It's also been interesting to hear Steve Clarke, who hasn't necessarily always been the most forthcoming person, certainly as far as the media is concerned, but we've seen some of the speeches that he's given, and particularly thinking of the one before the game against Denmark that was very emotional and that was very passionate and that did spark that fantastic victory for Scotland. But it's been interesting hearing him saying that, having learned from the previous experience in the Euros, he now wants Scotland to go out there and enjoy it as much as they can. Is that even possible, Rachel?
I think the caveat to that is you'll enjoy it much more if you win. So in some roundabout way, I think Steve Clarke's trying to say, you know, make sure we get the job done tonight. But it is an important part. But I also think that as players, as staff included in this, but when you're competitive, you do enjoy, the biggest part you enjoy is actually turning up, giving your best, and hopefully ending up with a positive result. You can't always control that bit, but you know when you've done absolutely everything, and listening to, you know, James McFadden as well, he's absolutely right. The preparation's been great, and we're in a perfect spot, and it is about now. Just go and deliver, and we can do it.
Those Haiti fans are confident, Joe, and there is an element to the way that they've qualified that suggests that they can be a difficult and will be a difficult opponent for Scotland.
I think so. They're allowed to dream. You know, they've made the World Cup. They've done it in some really difficult circumstances. I'm exactly the same. You've got to back your team. You've got to believe. Look at that setup. The whole occasion is absolutely breathtaking. What an unbelievable night to be an international player.
It's been 28 years since Scotland last qualified for a World Cup. Who knows when we'll see their likes again. So do try to enjoy it. It's time to join your commentary team, James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning. It's finally here. The waiting is over. 10,218 days. 10,218 long days, many of which were spent wondering if this would ever happen again. 10,218 days since the Tartan army trooped out of Saint-Étienne's Stade Geoffroy Guichard, heads bowed, beaten and out of the World Cup. Many who bore witness to that 3-0 pounding by the Moroccans were distraught and left staring into the hollow abyss of yet another early World Cup exit. But not many of those who bore witness on that muggy June evening in '98 in eastern central France would have believed you if you had told them that 10,218 days and 28 summers would come and go before they would grace us with their presence at the biggest tournament of them all again. Scotland's return comes after 28 years. Their opening Group C opponents, Haiti, are back after a 52-year interlude. A troubled nation, but proud team. Can they bring some much-needed light to a country beset by darkness and tragedy? A tournament debut as well here for the Boston Stadium in Foxborough in Massachusetts, 22 miles southwest of the city, the home of the New England Patriots, the place for the greatest quarterback to pick up in American football, Tom Brady, thrilled on so many occasions.
For the playing of the national anthem of Haiti.
Sébastien Migné, the Haiti manager, hoping to make an impact on this tournament. But just listen to this. think they may well have heard that over the border in Canada. They may well have heard it back home in Caledonia. What a moment for Andrew Robertson and his teammates. The day has finally arrived. Well, this area of Massachusetts made World Cup headlines in '94. The stadium built on the site of the former ground, which was the scene of the majestic Diego Maradona's infamous goal celebration against Greece in 1994, with his international career ending in disgrace just days later. There's history to be made, and following the draw between the Brazilians and the Moroccans earlier on, it gives these two the opportunity to go to the summit of Group C ahead of those match day 2 fixtures. And a quite remarkable number of Scotland supporters have come across the pond for this. The Frenchman Sébastien Migné has never actually set foot on Haiti. The on-field officials are Algerian. 40-year-old Mustafa Gorbal is in the middle. It's his second World Cup finals, having taken charge of 2 group games in Qatar. He needed a police escort when leaving a game earlier this season in the African Champions League. He was attacked by bottles when leaving the pitch. Saudi Arabia's Abdullah Al-Shahiri is on VAR. Well, Migné looking, as I said, to make an impact here. He sends out the same 11 that started last weekend's friendly defeat to Peru. Big hitters Bellegarde of Wolves and Isidore of Sunderland have improved this team tenfold. Goalkeeper Johnny Placide in goal is the most experienced player in the squad, but he is a bit accident-prone. 6 of their starters were born in Haiti, the rest in France. They won 6 of their 10 qualifiers as they return to the World Cup for the first time since '74. John McGinn preferred to Ryan Christie in the only change from last weekend's fine win over Bolivia in New Jersey. Scott McKenna misses out with a calf problem, though the understanding is he will return to training on Monday ahead of Morocco back here on Friday. Jack Hendry keeps his place with McKenna out, though he did start all 3 at the Euros 2 years ago in Germany. The front 2 of Adams and Shanklin showed promise last Saturday, scoring 3 of their 4 goals. And of course, the talismanic figure of Scott McTominay is in the side, having recovered from a stomach bug. Steve Clarke, Scotland's most successful head coach, as he leads the team into a 3rd major tournament under his tenure. We are just about ready to go. One last word for the Haitians before bedlam ensues. And while Scotland will see this as the fixture they are most likely to emerge with 3 points from, you can bet Haiti are thinking the same thing. A very impressive first half in particular between the other 2 in this group, which was played in New York, New Jersey earlier. A seminal moment. And it's time to strap yourselves in, wherever you may be. Just being made to wait a few seconds more. They've waited 28 years, in fairness. Lawrence Shankland, many felt should have started Scotland games before now, gets the nod tonight. And you can wait for a lifetime. Scotland are back in the big time. A sequence of qualifying failure which began with their botched bid to get to Japan and South Korea is officially over. Immediately, though, faced with what is surely a non-negotiable if this team is to realise the dream of creating more history and reaching major tournament knockouts for the first time. As I said, a third major finals for Steve Clarke. But as the man himself admits, they haven't really turned up at the party up to press. Is it his time? Is it their time, James McFadden?
Well, it has to be. There's been talk of, you know, the mistakes they've made in the past at the major tournaments, and now it's up to the players to go and show that they've learned from it. I think they have. I think the preparation's been outstanding coming into the game, you know, apart from the huge blow, obviously, losing Billy Gilmour. But I think that in terms of performances and the balance to the squad and the team, Scotland in a right good place to go and really show how good they can be on this stage. But I have to say, and many people are starting to realise Haiti are a good side, they're dangerous. They will be a tough proposition for Scotland, and Scotland will have to beat their best to win the game.
Shankland in for cap number 21, where he took his international goals tally from 4 to 7 in those wins over Curaçao and Bolivia. And the win last week in Harrison, whilst Bolivia were far from at it that afternoon, Scotland beat a team that defeated Brazil and Colombia in the South American qualifiers. And that's never to be sniffed at. Here's Hendry. He plays his football in Saudi Arabia with Al Ettifaq, and it looks as though he may well be staying there. It did appear like he was going to be moving during the summer window. Not an ideal kick-off time for those back home, James, but here the blistering heat is gone with the dusk.
Yeah, but still not amazing conditions for the players, but certainly better than earlier.
There's Adams, no foul. Adams gets it to Robertson, and out towards Gannon Doak, who's such a huge figure in the Scotland side. He makes a big difference, as you can see here. There's a pop-it goal, and Placide flops down onto it.
Yeah, comfortable for Placide. A little glimpse from Gannon Doak. Used to seeing him going down the right-hand side onto that right foot. It cuts inside, great feet. The team effort, potentially going wide anyway. Placide gets a hold of it. Nice positive start for Ben Gannon Doak.
He goes against Franci Piero, who plays his football in Turkey. And Çaykur Rizespor. Hendry then for Robertson. Here's McGinn, first real feel of the ball. It's open up nicely here. It is Shankland. You see what he's trying to do and arch that towards that far corner.
That's outstanding. Andy Robertson, first time, sees the run of John McGinn. He gets his head up, little reverse into the feet of Shankland, and he just wants out his feet. He's trying to bend it into that far corner, but it's blocked. It's really good play from Scotland.
There's Piero. He's in a position he doesn't really want to be in there, but he gets the free kick.
Yeah, it's not the position he wants to be in, but it's a scenario Haiti are looking for. Try and get hold of the ball. You see the runners going beyond them.
Scotland's last World Cup point and goal was in the 1-1 draw against Norway in Bordeaux. Craig Burley on the 16th of June 1998. The last World Cup win was 8 years before that, when they beat Sweden 2-1 in Genoa. McCall and Johnston scored the goals in the Luigi Ferraris. Of course, were made to pay for that opening defeat to another CONCACAF side in Costa Rica. Here's a chance for Haiti, first real opportunity, and Deedson tools it.
Yeah, but it's a threat again. Shankland careless in possession, but that's where Haiti are at their best. They want to win the ball back. They want to break in numbers. Deedson had better options. He goes for goal, and it's not a great effort. But a little glimpse from the Haitians that they're here to play.
Their only World Cup appearance came in 1974. And Scotland felt aggrieved at that tournament. Didn't lose any of their 3 group games, but were sent home early, as per usual.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear handball. You can see it from way up here in our vantage point there, Liam.
Grant Hanley, whose international career has spanned 15 years now. There's Robertson now of Tottenham Hotspur, of course. And back heel from McGinn. It is Robertson. It's a great ball in as well, and McTominay couldn't keep it down. Great build-up play again, though. And another showcasing of Andy Robertson's talent in the wide areas.
Yeah, and the link-up with McGinn. It's the first-time pass from Robertson, knowing John McGinn's going to make that run. And likewise, the little back heel back into the path of Robertson. Knows exactly where he's going to be, and McTominay gets up nice and early, but just can't get the direction he's looking for.
Nice little ball in field there by Jean-Jacques. Ferguson is losing out there to Isidore, who's now unhappy with the awarding of that free kick.
Yeah, it's great defensive play from Lewis Ferguson. Isidore, we know how dangerous he is. Just getting back, putting enough pressure on him.
Scored 6 goals for Sunderland in the season just finished.
He's a handful, Liam. Find himself unfortunate that he was out the team at Sunderland. Brobby's form outstanding for Sunderland, but Isidore more than played his part. And he is a real danger man for the Haitians.
Here is Bologna's Ferguson out to Hickey. Aaron Hickey, like Ben Gannon-Doak, has had so many injury problems and so little first-team football at club level. Hickey with Brentford, Gannon-Doak with Bournemouth. And another there in Angus Gunn, just 45 minutes. He played for Nottingham Forest last season. 1/2 against Crystal Palace in February when he replaced Matt Sells. And handed the gloves ahead of the evergreen Craig Gordon. Prowling the touchline. Just about kept that inside the 5 seconds. And Isidore has ended up bringing Ferguson crashing to the ground.
Yeah, it's just the follow-through. Miscontrols at Isidore. Probably that collision with the knee on Lewis Ferguson's thigh. Never pleasant. He just doesn't get a hold of the ball, Isidore. Ferguson once again round him. You look at Haiti lining up in the 4-4-2. It is pretty much, 4-4-2 against 4-4-2. But Ferguson doing that defensive shift to help out. Hanley and Hendry in there, trying to get on the toes of Isidore when he picks the ball up.
And McTominay's done brilliantly there. Here's Gannon-Doak. Couldn't quite free himself of Delcroix. Now Haiti looking to spring Scotland, but should have been dealt with really, and no touch of fortune there because Aaron Hickey was struggling out on that far side.
Well, he wasn't struggling initially. He reads it really well, makes up the ground, He's just trying to shield it out, which is too far away from the line. You can't get away with that. In that situation, you just have to deal with it. And the cross in, not great quality. It's a bit of a let-off, but Aaron Hickey had that situation under control till he didn't. And Haiti have it. Once again, out it comes to Lucius Deedson. And it's rifled high over the crossbar. It's a couple little warning signs here for Scotland. Yeah, I mean, the first one gives them a little confidence boost that they can cause problems. And then we see them once again, Isidore backing in, using his strengths. It's a good layoff. Bellegarde, it's always on the way up. Doesn't go over the ball, leaning back. It's always going high, but it's still a little warning sign. And the more little glimpses that Haiti get, the more confident they'll become. Haiti had a slow start to qualifying. They drew their first 2 in the second group stage. Eventually got the motor running, save for a 3-0 defeat to Honduras. And CONCACAF qualifying was opened up because of the fact that 3 nations from there are co-hosting this tournament. Nice layoff by Adams, McTominay. And challenge there by Jean-Jacques. There's Deedson. It's been a good little spell for the Haitians, this. And Robertson and McGinn gang up on Deedson. That's a poor ball away by McTominay. How costly is it going to be? Isidore with the effort, which is headed away by Hickey. Here's Shankland, but the referee's going to bring it back. It's a real awkward few minutes. Yeah, a couple of little slack moments. Just creeping in. McTominay with a slack pass inside. Every time they get in around the box, Haiti, that confidence will continue to build. Jean-Rickner Bellegarde over the free kick. It's a long way out. However, you might fancy it. A throng of players along the 18-yard line. Bellegarde drifts it in, and it all comes to nothing. Yeah, it's a waste. A real good opportunity for Haiti to go and put Scotland under pressure. It's just overhit. Scotland need to get the composure back, get control back in the game. I think the Bostonians have absolutely loved having the Scotland fans around, and they're going to be here for another few days. The Morocco game here coming up on Friday. Ricardo Ade. And Bellegarde. And it is Hans Delcroix. Scotland made a flying start against the Bolivians last week, but Haiti are on top right now. It's a really good ball in as well. Jack Hendry upended. I tell you what, I mean, he's fouled here, Jack Hendry, but it's a brilliant header. Lovely little cross in at the end, a really good play from Haiti down the left. It's a good header. 2 hands in the back from Isidore. He's in the right position, Jack Hendry, to deal with it.
Bit of wrestling there, Shankland. Again, there goes the whistle. It's a bit stop-start. Well, the opening 5 minutes, it looked like Scotland had settled pretty well, but it's been a little bit backs to the wall.
Yeah, I mean, it did start the best, the brightest. A couple of glimpses at goal without really testing. I see Haiti have had a few glimpses himself, and you can see that the confidence is there from them. Comfortable in possession, waiting for that moment to go and spring an attack. And have that physicality in the forward line that will cause teams problems.
And Haiti come into the tournament having won just 4 of their last 14 games. And they're playing with a bit of a swagger here. There's no free kick coming for Ruben Providence over on the far side there. It's Gannon Doak against Martin Experience. Nice ball back, McTominay! Rattles the post!
Oh, so close. McTominay, excellent from Gannon Doak.
Hanley's caught out a little bit at the other end. Here's Daidson. It's a really good ball in as well, and the goal's gaping. You can see there are 2 Haitians with heads in hands. And here's McTominay's effort.
Yeah, Gannon Doak does brilliantly. He's set away. McTominay catches that as clean as you like. Goalkeeper's beaten. The post isn't. But then Haiti showing exactly what they are. Hitting back straight away. Cross from Daidson. Outstanding. Isidore just missed times the jump, but so close for both sides.
And suddenly, this game is seesawing. Adams for Ferguson. Hickey. Gannon Doak. We saw like 2 superstar defenders in Nuno Mendes and Josko Gvardiol look very ordinary in the most recent Nations League tournament. The atmosphere in the city, James, has been incredible, hasn't it?
It has. It has. The Tartan Army have taken over, no less than we expect. They certainly come here in their numbers, spent an absolute fortune to be here. And they're just desperate to see the Scotland side winning so they can keep that party going.
Ferguson caught by Daidson. Doesn't appear to agree with the decision. Mauritius Daidson plays for Dallas in the States, in the Western Conference of the MLS. Yeah, it was close. You think Scotland have looked a little bit edgy?
No, I mean, certain aspects then it's only natural. You're playing, a competitive game in the World Cup, first one in 28 years for Scotland. I know it's been a while longer for Haiti, but I think that the start was bright. You make, decisions within games, and sometimes you're punished, sometimes you're not. On the other side, I think, early in the game, you look at the link up with Robertson McGinn, looked as if it was going to be, really dangerous. Gone a little bit quiet, but rattled the post with McTominay and link up with him and Doak. And it's only natural that at times you're going to have that little bit of nerve.
Fabulous from McGinn.
Poor touch by Shanklin, he slaps his hands in frustration.
Yeah, and it's not like him. Again, good ball in from Robertson, over by John McGinn. He's got a chance to actually take that in, take a touch, but he's trying to flick that to John McGinn at the first time. His link-up play is normally so much better.
Play on. Dietzen back to Arcus. Using Jean-Jacques. Another who plays in the States. Delcroix finds Experience. And Providence back to Ade. And Scotland quite happy to sit off at the moment. Carlen's Arcus. Stayed in play, according to the assistant on the far side. Jean-Jacques. Isidor's touch. He's out with Dietzen. It's another really testing ball in, and Isidore is adamant. He's been fouled in the box there. Might that be revisited?
No. Once again, it's good play from Haiti. No. It's very theatrical from Isidore. Throws himself to the ground, trying to buy it. I mean, Grant Hanley is on his back, but barely any contact, if any.
Sir Rod taking the game in. Arrived in the city earlier on today as we hit the first cooling break. And I just wonder, not just what's going through the mind of Steve Clarke down there, what's going through the mind of James McFadden right now.
Yeah, I mean, a promising start, and then Haiti have grown stronger since the first 5 or 10 minutes. Scotland cracked the post and shown glimpses, but maybe just not quite that control that you're looking for.
Well, if you want to get involved, scan the QR code and head to the live page in the BBC Sport app for polls, updates and reaction throughout the match. A relatively bright opening by Scotland, but I think it's safe to say that the Tartan Army are not exactly sitting comfortably right now.
No, they won't be in it. Look, I think we can all agree that Haiti are a good side. We said that before the game. And Scotland have, you know, as I said, had a bright start, hit the post, but Haiti have had their moments as well. And it is a World Cup opener in the group stage. There is a lot of pressure on both sides. Sure, it'd be nice if there was a goal or two advantage, and we'd all love that, but there's still plenty in this team to go and get the control. They'll get words for Steve Clarke now, maybe make little tweaks, or just to reinforce the message that he'd given them at the start of the game before the game kicked off, to get back to doing what they're good at, the one-touch pass and the link-up between Robertson and McGinn. Can Gannon don't get on the ball more often and cause some problems.
Well, the players talked about Steve Clarke's pre-match team talk before the crucial Denmark qualifier last November. Boy, did it have the desired effect. But Scotland's major tournament record is well documented with how poor it is. In the World Cup, they've only won 4 of their 23 matches. The wins coming against Zaire in '74 in Dortmund, the Netherlands famously in 78 in Mendoza, Archie Gemmill and all that. New Zealand in 82 in Malaga, and as I mentioned earlier, Sweden in 1990 in Genoa. And overall, just a couple of wins at European Championship finals as well. 6 wins from 35 major championship games. This is their 13th major finals appearance and 9th at a World Cup. Just wonder what Clark had to say to his players there.
I think go back to what you did at the start. Get the ball moving quicker. Not really seen Shankland or Adams. I'd like to see them test the goalkeeper. I think he may well be one of the weakest parts of the team for Haiti. Does it look convincing? Placide. I'd like to see him being tested a little bit more.
Well, it looked like he had been beaten. McTominay's effort came back off the post. And Ferguson did well again. He was the man his teammates felt was the most important player in qualifying. First time Scotland had topped a World Cup qualifying group since the campaign to get to Spain in 82.
He reads the danger so well, Lewis Ferguson. Everyone's looking forward and trying to make forward runs. He's the one that spots where the danger is, and more often than not snuffs it out.
Can they find a way through? That's for Shankland. Picked up by Ade. Oh, lovely footwork by Deedson. Really has come to the fore in this match. Providence. Isidore on it again. It's Hanley's challenge this time. And once again, he feels aggrieved.
Yeah, my first thought is that he's thrown himself to the ground once again. He says that Hanley's got a hold of his arm. I mean, it's twice now. He's just thrown himself to the ground, Isidore.
We saw that controversial VAR moment last night in Los Angeles, the USA-Paraguay match. Acts of simulation. Hanley goes long and finds Adams. Gannon Doak. That's brilliantly done, Adams! And McGinn, and in! A goal for a nation! A goal a nation is craved! And Scotland are off and running! John McGinn breaks the World Cup drought!
And there's a celebration from John McGinn that we're so used to seeing. But for me, this goal is all about Shea Adams. This touch here, the pass is excellent. Into space, it's over his shoulder. It's a wonderful first touch from Shea Adams. It allows the attack to be built. Gannon Doak, his pace, dangerous ball in again. I have to say it's a good save, and John McGinn, a deflection, he won't be caring. But this touch here from Adams, outstanding. And it's probably goal bound anyway, maybe creeping into that post at the side netting, but he won't care about the deflection.
A goal for a country that's been on the outside looking in for too long. Denied access to the mother of all parties, but suddenly, almost 3 decades in the doldrums, vanquished in an instant. The Tartan Army celebrate under the lights in Massachusetts. And reward for those watching in the early hours back home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know it's late, and a lot of people, especially young people, staying up to watch it, but that is why you do it. Moments like that, and I just wonder the little hydration break, if Steve Clarke's asked for more direct balls in behind, because it has been a lot in front. There's another one. More direct up to the strikers, where they get their joy from. Because it was a little bit in front, as you said, maybe at times a little bit nervy, tentative. Be a bit more direct, put Haiti under pressure defensively. And they've got the rewards. The touch from Shea Adams is absolutely exquisite.
And now they are cooking. Here is Gannon Doak. Hickey. Looking to keep their foot firmly on the throttle. Just such a historic moment. And John McGinn gets his reward. His 21st international goal. He is one of only 5 players to get over 20 for Scotland.
And what a season he had as well at Aston Villa. Clearly carrying that on into this World Cup with Scotland.
And there's that Europa League winners' medal tucked away now. McTominay. Gannon Doak. Oh, he's at it again. And Shankland! Couldn't quite get the purchase on the header.
That's excellent. Once again, Gannon Doak. You can see they're doubling up on him. They know the threat that he has. He shifts it onto his right foot, and once again, it's a good delivery. And Shankland makes that little move early, just can't get enough on it. Gannon Doak getting higher up the pitch as well, getting into dangerous areas. Create those 1v1s that actually sometimes is a 1v2 because Haiti are doubling up, but he's still finding the space.
Craig Burley is no longer the last man to score for Scotland at the World Cup finals. As you see the confirmation that he was onside.
Yeah, let's hope John McGinn's not the last one either.
Well, that's the thing.
Unless he wants to score all the goals.
Well, he might. He'll certainly fancy that. His best spell for Scotland, he scored 7 in the Euro 2020 qualifiers. It's his best scoring spell. But only Law, Dalglish, Gallagher and Riley ahead of him coming into this tournament in the goal-scoring stakes in Scotland's history. Meantime, Haiti looking to hit back here. There's another good ball in. I mean, a lot of that. There goes Scotland's way.
It's a great ball in. Whip from Bellegarde. But Scotland have the numbers in there to make sure it's not a clean header.
As it stands, Scotland are top of Group C. Long time to go.
Still sounds good though. Hey, we don't get here often, we need to enjoy it.
There's no doubt. Piero. They've opened up a little bit for him there. It's out with Providence. Faced by Hickey, it's Providence, spilled by Gunn! Hendry gets it half away. And they get away with it. Angus Gunn gets away with it. And flags up anyway.
Yeah. I mean, again, just a glimpse from Haiti, how dangerous it can be. Providence coming in. And he does spill it. Angus Gunn. There's a John McGinn goal once again from a similar to our vantage point there. I mean, he's bobbled it into the ground, which has probably helped him, but he won't care.
And nobody of a Scottish persuasion cares how it made its way into the net, just that it did. Nice play again by Deedson. He's a real troublemaker. He's at it again here. No, Barnes from Robertson's penalised. He's causing problems down this near side is Lucius Deedson.
Yeah, he is. He's a real bright spot on his Haiti side. And Andy Robertson just desperate to get back because he'd been beaten by Deedson. Right in front of the assistant referee as well. But they are dangerous. We know that, we knew that before the kick-off.
Bellegarde over the free kick. And he's headed well wide. And a bit of an anti-climax for the Haitians. On that occasion, Isidore found himself at the angle of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, I wonder if he's better served just trying to flick that on towards the back post area. He's going for goal. Can he just glance that into the back post because he knows how far beyond that near post he is.
Just under 10 to the break plus stoppages. Scotland in front. It's been a pretty keenly contested match-up so far. I think he looked at the referee for the free kick and he gets his wish. Despite Ruben Providance's complaints.
Yeah, he does well, Hickey, but when the ball comes out to him, Shea Adams had made a brilliant run. Just bent his run, there was loads of space. Scotland's right, Haiti left-hand side. He just needs to help it into an area. The space is there, and obviously that's where the goal comes from.
Good switch that by Hanley. Here's Robertson. 95th cap for Andy Robertson tonight, closing in on Kenny Dalglish's long-standing record of 102. Bellegarde goes, shifted up to the edge of the box, and Hickey had to react to nick that away from Providence.
Yeah, he tidies up well, Aaron Hickey. This is Haiti at their best, those little runs, that pass inside, the link-up was very good, but Hickey, bright and alert to it. Comes from a situation where John McGinn takes the ball in, he's backing in, he's looking for the space. Andy Robertson had gone ahead, so the space is there for Haiti to exploit. If Scotland lose possession, and that's exactly what they do. Aaron Hickey switched on.
Whistle goes again, and the yellow card's out this time. And Bellegarde on Shankland.
Yeah, Shatland back defending. Just overreaches. You see the right leg coming round as well. An easy decision for the referee.
It's been relegated with Wolves as Sean Reitner Bellegarde. He arrived at the club for just under £13 million. Yeah, the ref's going to bring that back there. Foul on Ferguson again. The Algerian referee. Yeah, apologies again if there's been a loss in pictures. It's a world feed problem, so everyone suffered it. But you're back with us now as Robertson takes the free kick. It's headed down towards Adams and hooked away before he could get a sniff at it. It's a good header, clear there by Arcus. That's Bellegarde. Out to Deedson once more. Knocks it past McGinn. 3 waiting in white in the middle. And it's a pretty tame header in the end from Franci Piero.
Yeah, it's Deedson once more. It's down the right-hand side. He's so dangerous, so quick and direct, but also he's preferred to just bend it in with the outside of the left. He cuts back, goes for the in-swinger. It's another dangerous cross from him.
Hanley takes the high road, looking for Shankland. Didn't quite get it to settle for him.
He's so unlucky, Shankland. Does really well initially. He's backing into Addy. Ball flicks up, and he's having to go and contend again. He just can't get that layoff to Shea Adams. But it's certainly an out ball for Scotland. You've got 2 strikers up there. Adams happy to run in behind, but you know when it comes to Shankland for the balls in the air, he's going to get his body in and cause problems.
Experience with the ball in field and then lashed high over the bar by an increasingly frustrated Bellegarde. You have to watch what he's saying, having picked up that yellow card a few minutes ago.
Yeah, he's claiming a push by Shankland, but I think that's because of how bad his shot was. He's wanting the referee to bail him out there.
Now, those statistics in the bottom left of your picture there tell you how even a game it's been, really. Though Scotland did hit the post before they took the lead through McGinn, whose goal return for his country is magnificent.
Yeah, as yeah, I think that's fair. You can see that Scotland have obviously managed to get in front, but I think it's been a pretty even game. Both teams showing what they're capable of.
Providence. Bellegarde. Away it goes. Here's Ferguson. And again, he's looking for Gannon Doak. He's found Gannon Doak. There's Brentford's Hickey for McTominay. Another excellent season in Naples, despite the fact they were well beaten for the title by Inter Milan. Only Rasmus Højlund scored more goals for Napoli last season. It was Argentina's Lautaro Martinez who led the way in Italy. A little bit unorthodox by McTominay, but it worked. And then Doak looking for Adams. Gave Addy a hard time, and the ref didn't like that. He doesn't think there's much in it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that again. You can see Addy all over Adams. I think he's fortunate there, Addy.
Danley Jean-Jacques. Delcroix. Experience. And Providence behind him. Haiti looking to tie things up before the break. Final minute of the opening 45. And Piero's touch lets him down. And there was a flag again.
Yeah, I mean, it is a poor touch and he is offside, but Andy Robertson again, just mopping up. Decent position to go and tidy up there, Andy Robertson.
good to see the pipes in tonight, but it's difficult to hear them over the din of this fantastic crowd that's inside the stadium tonight. In the Boston Stadium, 4 minutes added. We're into the first of them. So important for Scotland they don't concede before that half-time whistle.
No, absolutely. The players know that. Don't concede. Can you even be a little bit greedy and go and get a second?
It's going Scotland's way. As Providence turn to have a pop at the ref. Much of a muchness, but that bit there is what's tilted it in Scotland's favour.
Yeah, I mean, they're both holding each other. That's when he turns the arm. He's across Hickey's face, and then the little push. Good defending from Aaron Hickey.
Haiti ball this time. Didn't play any of their home games in Haiti due to the conflict in the country, and as I said earlier, their French coach Sébastien Migné's never set foot in the island. There's a conflict's been ongoing since the devastating earthquake in January 2010. And the Haitian Football Federation, amidst that disaster, lost around 30 members of the organisation. Many sought refuge at the National Stadium, where humanitarian and disaster relief operations were taking place at the time. It remains the deadliest natural disaster of the 21st century for a single country. A tough time for the Haitian people. Shanklin couldn't deal with it. Haiti desperately pushing for an equaliser before the interval, which is almost upon us. Experience. Jean-Jacques, he's going to get it back here. It's fallen kindly for McGinn. And that's going to be a free kick. Steedson's foul this time.
As soon as that ball breaks to John McGinn, you know exactly what's coming. He gets his body in, he slows himself down. But again, Haiti just showing their quality. But here, you just see John McGinn slowing down, knowing the contact's coming, taking the pressure off. And having their moments once again, Haiti, without troubling the Scotland goal, but certainly they will not be giving up in this game because they've nothing to lose. They come in as the underdogs. I think they've performed very well. And you can see they've got really good quality throughout their team. It's a team you don't want to give encouragement to.
Yeah, they led 1-0 against Peru all the way through to the final 10 minutes. Last week lost 2-1. As Gannon Doak opens his box of tricks again, but final ball lets him down, away by Deedson. Scotland looking to finish with a flourish here in the first half. Again, stepping onto it beautifully. We've played the 4 minutes. The ref sounds the whistle. And it is that man once again. And he's done it on so many occasions for his country. And that goal that he scored tonight will undoubtedly be taking the #1 slot, particularly if Scotland going to win this game, because it's John McGinn's goal that separates the teams at the interval. A fairly even first half, and a 21st international goal for the Aston Villa midfielder. And as it stands, Scotland top Group C. Half-time in Massachusetts. It's Haiti 1, Haiti 0, Scotland 1.
And yes, Scotland topped the group because of that draw between Brazil and Morocco earlier on. So at the moment, with Scotland on 3 points, they are top of Group C. But still 45 minutes to go. It is still a narrow advantage over Haiti. Scott, what did you make of the first half?
Yeah, it was slow to start with, if I'm honest, and there was a lot of Angus playing from the back, nice and slow, and trying to control the game, but like a couple of runs in behind, and then some fantastic balls in by Doak as well. And like, we always knew that if he can get 1v1 against anybody, he's got a fantastic chance. And look, he had a little bit of quality, and that's how we end up getting the goal. And like, we got a little bit lucky with John's finish, but I'm sure he'll take that.
Yes, steady rather than spectacular at the moment.
I think that's, yeah, perfectly put, Kelly. I actually thought we started positively, and a couple of good opportunities down left-hand side, good little combinations, and then it probably became a bit sticky. They had a little bit of a phase, then we had a bit more. I felt when we had the ball, we were a bit too conservative. I felt we switched it around the back without really being able to progress forward. A lot of times we end up back with the goalkeeper, and then it's a forced long ball. So we definitely haven't been our best, but we have the lead, and I think, you know, sometimes that's what you need. I think it's a difficult game. Haiti have given us some challenges, and we've taken our chance.
Is that one of the things that just happens in these opening games, that countries and teams are just finding their way through the conditions, finding out their opponents? It's often teams that they haven't played too much or don't know too much about, Joe. 100%
they were finding their way. They realised they were going to be dominant. They wanted to get a little feel of the ball. I think they got a little bit too comfortable in that. And I think when they had the hydration break, I think Steve Clarke reminded what makes them a really good team, being dynamic, being aggressive, a lot more long balls, second balls being picked up. Gannon Doak really came to the forefront after that. And those late runs of McTominay and McGinn, they're such a threat.
Talking of John McGinn, he does have the goal. It was a deflected goal, but he does have the only goal of the game.
Yeah, look, fantastic. We managed to get the breakthrough, and it comes due to the ball in behind. It's a fantastic run for Shea Adams, and look, fantastic first touch over his shoulder, and then that little bit of calmness. Then look, this is where you want Gannon Doak here in those situations. Shea Adams again in those areas, and then John, penalty spot, picking the ball up. Look, we get hugely lucky because I think the goalie's going to pick it up, but we need that little bit of luck, and hopefully that spurs us on, if I'm honest, and that's where we got a lot of our success, as Joe was saying, balls in behind.
Yeah, balls in behind, and also some good work down the right-hand side, and good work from Ben Gannon Doak as well, Rachel. We were saying beforehand, at times it maybe needs to work on his delivery, but this was perfect and nearly led to the opening goal for Shea Adams as well.
Absolutely. Excellent wide play. And we know he can do that. He's so electric. Right at the end there, you know, 6 Scotland players in the penalty box. We're much better when we go forward quickly. Of course, we can't do that every time we get the ball, because then it'll just become transition after transition. But I think we can find those moments. Brilliant from Shea Adams as well. A really good example of quality play.
And that was the Scotland fans in Boston. This is the Scotland fans who are watching in Glasgow. And there was, as you can see with the reaction from the crowds, there was that moment when they thought the chance was going to fall to Shea Adams. It wasn't to be, and then eventually John McGinn's goal goes in. And we you know, you talked a little bit there, Rachel, about Ben Gannon Doak, and Joey has been really important for Scotland. They've been effective down both sides actually, but Ben Gannon Doak particularly down the right. Yeah, he's been a real threat, and when he's been able to stand up the Haiti left back, he's looked really threatening. They've not been quite able to get the timing every time, but look, his touch is excellent, and I think that'll be consistent throughout the game. And he's grown into it. You've got to remember, he's a young man, you know, new in his career, new in his Scotland career, but he's got so much confidence. I actually crossed over slightly with him when he was 15, 16 at Celtic, and he's still very young. He's the youngest player ever to represent Scotland at a World Cup. But he's just got that kind of confidence. He doesn't care what the level is. He didn't care when he came and trained with us. He was so much belief and wanting to express himself. And this, Rachel, was your point about the McTominay starting it and then nearly finishing it. Yeah, incredible. But Doak's a big part of that, because he consumes so much attention defensively, and McTominay travels there a great distance to be able to get on the end of it. Yeah, and Ben Gannon Doak involved in everything down the right-hand side, Scott. He's so busy and occupies those full-backs. Everything positive. His willingness as well, at the last opportunity there, he runs in behind, he pulls the defender underneath the ball and uses his pace. So he's playing games with him, and he's good enough with the ball at his feet, he's composed. And as Joe says, look, he's confident. That's what you want a Scotland player to be. You want him to be direct, put the balls in the box, and look at that chance for Shanklin there as well. Good ball, good delivery, and we're a little bit lucky. And look, you can see, as we said, they've had a bit of joy down the left-hand side, but that right-hand side has been where Scotland have been most productive.
Yeah, and I think it's obvious. And when you're a team like Scotland...
It is when you look at the graphic.
But he's grown into it, though, Kelly, and he's grown into the half and the understanding of what is going to make them good and where the threat comes. And when you smell blood, you know, you've got to go for it. And he's been really, really good. And chances for Shea Adams, Shanklin, McTominay, they keep coming.
And those chances that were created down the left-hand side, actually, they came quite early on in the game, Rachel.
They did, and probably you'd expect Haiti to prepare and expect us to be strong down this side with Robertson and McGinn, but McGinn tucks really narrow. McGinn does really well there to actually make that ball in from Robertson. A good ball goes into feet. I think we can probably be a bit more direct to goal there, but nonetheless, this ends up being a good chance anyway. But I think that's what's good about the starting formation here. You can see Robertson and McGinn, there's a partnership there. This combination is looking to go short and combine in this area is also helping us be able to exploit Gannon Doak on the opposite side, because he knows he's then the outlet at times too. So this is obviously, you know, a big part of our tactical and possession work. I find at times that we've probably been a little too rigid with it. I think other players could become more involved, because at times you see there McGinn and Robertson, you end up getting a ball in the box, but they end up in a 3v2 against them. They just get the quality to be able to figure that out. But I think at times we can look to use that a bit more as a disguise, bring someone else round and maybe look to change the point a bit more.
I think they've got two real good understandings there. You've seen where McGinn was in that box, just in behind, and you've got Robbo just off the right back and off the winger as well. They're causing problems in that, and that's what started the game really well for us. And then we've managed to get Ben on the ball, and that's probably what Steve wants. And if I'm sitting there looking at those stats, I'm thinking, right, just keep giving Ben the ball. Second half, go on, let's see what you can give us. Can you give us an extra 25 minutes? And then, hopefully, can we go and get the second goal?
Rachel, you talked about some of the problems and some of the challenges that Haiti have posed for Scotland. They have created a couple of chances in there, and there have been some slightly nervy moments.
There have, and most of them have come since we scored. It's probably fairly even in terms of touching the box and opportunities directly. This is one with probably most dangerous opportunity, and Hickey there, he just gets stood up. Good save from Gunn initially, but obviously then comes loose. Joe can speak better to that one, but second save, I think, is exceptional.
That's what I love. I love the second save. Look, there's no getting away from it. Angus Gunn would have been nervous coming into this game. That's not an ideal bit of goalkeeping. But if you're talking about representing your country and putting your body on the line, as soon as he makes that mistake, or slightly, it's not perfect, but goalkeeping isn't about being perfect. How do you react? Flies, makes himself huge. Love it. It's brilliant from both defence and goalkeeper. You're going to have those little moments, no matter how dominant you are in a game. They're vital, and that was massive.
But as you said, everybody just playing their way into this game, not least to the Angus Gunn, who's only had 45 minutes of action so far this season, but he's certainly had another 45 in that opening first half of the game between Scotland and Haiti. Scotland 1-0 up at the break. Let's hear from the assistant coach, Stephen Naismith. He's with Ailey Barber.
Stephen, the first goal was always going to be so important for Scotland. Such a bonus that they got it, and something to build on now in the second half.
Yeah, I think it was a cagey start, but everybody's getting used to the game, the conditions. It was a good goal. I think we can still be better in possession. We get the goal from a John McGinn that's been a talisman over the years, but we need to build on it. That's, as you say, the second half we need to definitely build on that.
Scotland have had to suffer a little bit in that first half as well. Haiti have caused some problems. How do you reflect on the performance as a whole?
They're aggressive when they've got possession, or the counter-attack, they're really aggressive. So we just need to be watching of that. But I think if we're better in possession, we control the game a bit better, and I think that's what we'll look for in the second half.
Looking forward to it.
And we'll be back there for the second half very shortly. But as we've been saying all night, do stay with us, do stay awake. You don't want to miss any of this. The second half on the way shortly.
I'm on a journey that has brought me here, to the most famous football country in the world, Brazil. Can the game I once fell in love with be found again? I'm Kevin Bridges, and I am in search of the beautiful game. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Next up at the World Cup, it's Australia against Turkey. So if you're going to plough on through the night, that one will be on BBC Sounds. Or if you want to get a little bit of kip, you can catch up with all the action on iPlayer in the morning with no spoilers. And then tomorrow or later on today, depending on how you're going to look at it, four-time winners Germany take on newcomers Curacao, and it's the Netherlands against Japan. Again, they're both on 5 Live and on BBC Sounds. Ivory Coast against Ecuador is live on BBC One and iPlayer from 11:15 on Sunday night. And you can check out the Scottish Football podcast that's on BBC Sounds. And in the lead up to the World Cup, BBC Scotland spent 12 months behind the scenes with Craig Gordon in this new documentary.
Gordon sprawled and made the save, and he's injured.
Did you think you'd play again?
Not at that point, no.
If this was a year there was no international tournament, then I probably wouldn't be still here.
You've read the information leaflet, you know, you can have paralysis, you can die.
Is that good?
We have to get rich. We're looking to expand the organisation, and me and Con are going to be the Dons.
From now on, I'm going to be a bad boy forever.
The new series of The Young Offenders. Watch now on BBC iPlayer.
Well, it's looking fantastic in Boston, certainly as far as James McFadden is concerned. This is him celebrating John McGinn's deflected effort that has Scotland leading by a 1-0 at half-time. James was very confident before the match. We could go back to Boston now and rejoin him. As confident as you were, James, it looked like there was a little bit of relief in that celebration.
Oh, absolutely. You still have to do the job. You need to stop showing that, honestly. But no, I was confident, but obviously you've got to be aware of the danger that Haiti pose. And also, you're looking at a team and wanting them to go and really be themselves. And at times they have struggled to do that. Listening to the guys there speak about, you know, they want to be a bit more direct and play with energy. That's something we always want to see from a Scotland side. But if you'd have said to me before the game, and I know there's still a half of football to be played, would you take a 1-0? Absolutely, all day long. For Scotland just to win the game and get the 3 points on the board is the most important thing. Now I'm a bit greedy, yes, of course, I want to see more goals and I'd like to enjoy it a bit more, but absolutely, you've got to celebrate moments like that, Kelly. You know they don't come around too often.
Exactly, and you don't get to go to a World Cup too often and follow Scotland, not since 1998, as we keep saying. Ailey was chatting to Stephen Naismith, and he was saying that he thinks that Scotland maybe need a little bit more control in possession in order to really get on top of the game in the second half. Is that what you've seen?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that at times it's been maybe a little bit safe and a bit slow. I think the threat has been that ball in behind or direct to Shankland. Shea Adams for the goal does brilliantly because he comes short, he spins long, his touch is magnificent. It allows you then to build the attack, and then you've got that possession of the ball. And if you can play through, great. If you can't, go over the top. We've got players that can cause problems. So yeah, I think more control with the ball and also without the ball at times. Andy Robertson's gone beyond John McGinn, and maybe the ball's been lost and the turnovers there. We know the threat Haiti have in the wide areas especially and up front. So yeah, I think controlling the situations as much as sometimes you think that's possession and having the football and having it sometimes in front of the opposition is controlling the situations. If you lose the ball, how quick can you win it back? Where's the danger if you lose it? But take that risk to play forward. And I think we need to see a bit more of that. And I think that will be the message from Steve Clarke. And hopefully it hits home and the players can go out and, you know, carry that out in the second half.
Looking forward to hearing from you in a couple of minutes when the players are out for the second half of this game, and looking forward to seeing what Scotland and Haiti have in store for us. Yes, they want to have more control of the ball, but also the sense that they're playing themselves into this game. Do you think there's an improvement to come from Scotland, particularly given what we saw at the start of the first half and then after the drinks interval?
Yeah, looking at Naze's interview, I think he means the speed of play. Like, control's been there periods of time, but it's been slow, it's been steady at the back. I think it's speed of play, balls in behind, and it's getting up to the pitch side. But like, the conditions has got a lot to play with it as well. And that's always going to be hard for both teams.
Yeah, the conditions are going to make it difficult for both teams, but we saw that when Steve Clarke had that chance in the 3-minute drinks interval, the 3-minute hydration break, to go and talk to his players, we saw that intensity renewed. Is it just about reminding them to go out and continue to push?
Sometimes you need that as players. You know, you can sometimes just get lost in the flow of the game. Sometimes that's a great moment to just get some, you know, really purposeful information. Right, you say a lot, but just a little bit gave us, I think, a bit of impetus to kind of change the momentum. I think now we need to be really careful, though, because we saw earlier Switzerland with a 1-0 lead. They didn't really go out and try and do more in the game, and Qatar got a late goal. We need to make sure that's not a situation we end up in, and I think we certainly have more, and I think we need to try and create a few more opportunities.
Taking you through this second half live from Boston, it's James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
Thank you, Kelly. John McGinn's goal and Scotland in the box seat. If you are watching any of the World Cup matches live, or you're enjoying the highlights on BBC iPlayer, you can scan the QR code there on screen. If you don't already have a TV licence, you can get that via that QR code. But Steve Clarke will be pretty content, certainly more than content with the scoreline. Bits of the performance perhaps needed tweaked, and they did look better after the first hydration break of the game. John McGinn becoming the 19th different man to score for Scotland in a World Cup finals. And the first since Craig Burley. Murray, Moody, Collins, Baird, Lorimer, Jordan, Dalglish, Gemmell, Wark, Robertson, Archibald, Neary, Souness, Strachan, McCall, Johnston, Collins and Burley, and now that man. A fantastic career he has had for his national team. His 87th cap this evening, and his biggest Scotland goal to date. The Haitians will get the second half underway. We saw enough from them in the first half to suggest that this is going to be far from straightforward. It's not the Scottish way to do it, the straightforward way. And there were a few nervy moments in that opening 45. As both managers send out the same 11 for the start of this second half, and a massive 45 minutes of football.
Yeah, huge for both sides. Obviously, we're looking at it from the Scotland point of view. Can they go start with a higher tempo and cause some problems? Haiti will go in there as much as they're down, a goal down. Showed plenty in that first half to show that they can get themselves level, they can win this game. So yeah, it's an interesting second 45 is Hickey's boot. Getting just too tight there.
And he's in the book. And a chance here early for Jean-Victor Bellegarde again. Over the set play, but he's let himself down.
There's a couple of occasions now for Bellegarde when it's that straight ball, just not judging the flight or the distance, the direction. When he's whipping it in, it's a dangerous delivery.
I still remember that match against Costa Rica. One Kayasu goal that shocked Andy Roxburgh's team, and they were chasing their tail after that, though they did beat the Swedes in the next match. It always means if you drop points to the minnows that you're going to have to take something off the behemoths. Adams looking for Gannon Doak here. Closed out by Delcroix.
Good defending Delcroix, because you know the speed that Gannon Doak has.
Followed by Shea Adams.
Lovely skill. He's defending from Delcroix. Reads the situation really well.
Scored 8 goals this season, Shea Adams for Torino, including a very late equaliser against Juventus in the final weekend in the Turin derby. And buoyed as well by his strikes against the Bolivians a week ago. And Steve Clarke will be pining for a second goal, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure it is to try and get into a better rhythm, clearly. Go and get that second goal if you can. Without a shadow, they've been told them not to concede. And that's not by sitting back and being defensive. Sometimes you can do that and it's almost like you're waiting to concede. I think it's by being on the front foot, aggressive with speed going forward.
McGinn. Out to Gannon Doak. Remember the match between the two favourites. Brazil and Morocco ended 1-1 earlier on. As Garandok is upended by experience. He's avoided a card.
Somehow, I mean, he does him Garandok, the arm comes across. Just watched Aaron Hickey being booked for a pretty similar challenge. Very, very fortunate there.
Breaks down from the resultant free kick. Providence takes it away. And there's Jean-Jacques. And Arcus. For Ade. And Experience. Knock the ball about with confidence.
Yeah, they absolutely do. They don't force it either. They wait for that moment. That's why they've been so successful. That's why they're playing at the World Cup finals.
Stuck 4 unanswered goals past New Zealand in their first warm-up match this month. We saw England were only able to score once against that New Zealand side, so again, a reminder of the dangers of Haiti.
Yeah, I think the fact you're playing them at the World Cup tells you that they're a good side, and you can read sometimes too much into friendlies, but certainly they showed real quality in that New Zealand game. They've shown glimpses of quality tonight, and they are a danger.
Fouled by Ade on Shankland. Hanley asking too much of Garandok this time. Scotland have only won 1 of their last 11 games at World Cup finals. They need that to change tonight. They're in the box seat right now, though. Nice turn by Piero, and he's going to get the free kick as well.
Yeah, Grant Hanley gets caught wrong side. And as the ball comes up, Piero does really well. Use his strength. You see him reaching round there. Just pulls him back ever so slightly. Nicky gets back to make a good challenge, but it's for the foul by Hanley.
Delgard for Delcroix. Out to Providence. Desperately seeking space to cross. He's having to utilise experience here, and he gets it all wrong.
Just waiting for that perfect opportunity to get the ball in. He doesn't present himself. And Hickey gets down the line of the cross.
We settle for the corner, though. Another argument with the ref. Providence. Right across the bows of Angus Gunn's goal. To no avail.
It's a decent cross as well. Just aim for that back post. The problem he has is it's one target, and if you overhit it, you need someone coming into that back post. Piero, can he go and gamble? He's on his heels. You see the frustration.
Shankland looked offside there. Yeah, up goes the flag. He knew it himself, going by the body language.
Yeah, he knew it. He still has to go just in case he's timed that well.
So very nearly led Heart of Midlothian to a sensational Scottish Premiership title last season. 3 minutes of the season left. Hearts were winning that league. Top effectively all the way through since September. It's brilliant from Ben Garandok. A little fist pump to celebrate. Fair play.
Well, listen, he's in the team to be fast, to be quick, to be direct, to be creative. But he's also shown a lot of this, that he's willing to go and do the defensive shift. And we're used to seeing him maybe celebrating a skill or something that we're used to seeing a forward player celebrate. But it just shows you put the shift in for the team. I have to say he's going to have to do a lot more of it, because Providence has come out looking really bright in this second half for Haiti.
Where do you think the draw between Brazil and Morocco leaves things? I know it's in the infancy of Group C, but is that a good result for Scotland or Haiti, or would they have preferred one of those teams to win it?
You can ask me after the game, Liam. I think that I just want Scotland to win. If Scotland can get 3 points, then it was all that was in their hands, and then see what happens. I think getting that first victory, whether it's Scotland or Haiti, is crucial. And then they can start worrying about what it means in relation to going forward.
There's Robertson. Shanklin steers. There's Gannon Toke. Not quite. There's a corner though.
What a delivery this is from Andy Robertson. Just bends into the area. Shanklin just can't get the end of it. Gannon Doak does, but it's defended well at the back post. Experience. What a delivery from Andy Robertson.
And the ball got the thumbs up from Shankland. Again with the corner. And he's going to get another one here. And the big striker Piero. Grant Hanley among those waiting for McGinn's second attempt here. And it's better, but McTominay can't do anything with it, and he's in a glancing blow in the process, as you can see.
Yeah, Jean-Jacques just trying to flick it away. Does get a touch on it. It's just that collision there, no foul, just a collision.
Scott McTominay, another who's racking up the caps. He's earning his 71st this evening. Experience. Ferguson read that well as he covers Heathrow. Great take by Adams, who was unceremoniously wiped out after that. And will get brought back as well.
Yeah, Lewis Ferguson once again reading the danger. Little clip up to Shea Adams. Experience, he's certainly getting away with putting a few challenges in.
And a little wag of the finger at the referee as well.
Yeah. There's these moments when you talk about control where Haiti look dangerous. If you've got someone that can go and read the situation and see the danger.
He's just behind Robertson. And it was a promising situation, that. Hendry was attempting to slip it back into the stride of Robertson.
Yeah, as you say, just behind him. He'd made that run. Andy Robertson, he wants that in front of him so he can run onto it without even having to take a touch to control it and then fire it across it in the box first time.
Marcus for Bellegarde. Delcroix. Providence. It's a really good ball in, and got to be careful. Piero has an optimistic look at the Algerian referee.
Yeah, Jack Henry's so tight on him. And Angus Gunn has to wait till the last moment.
Robertson's away here. Adams has got it back to him. Shanklin's waiting. He's well defended by Delcroix.
That's good movement from Chatham, but you have to say good defending once again. Andy Robertson got down the left-hand side and putting that cross in as we get a chance to see yet another weak claim for a penalty from Haiti. Piero went down too easily.
And the second Scotland goal would relieve some of the tension that Steve Clarke will be feeling just now as the thousands upon thousands of Scotland fans inside the stadium here. And from Ferguson. Adams leaps. Nothing doing. Oh, it's Providence. Darren Doak gets in the way. Providence wants a free kick for a foul by Shankland.
Yeah, and it's just another glimpse at how dangerous Haiti can be. Not in control. There's what the foul's for. A cynical foul from Lawrence Shankland. But they leave one up. If that ball drops to Providence, we know he's more than capable of carrying the ball, causing real problems.
And they've drawn a few blanks in the last year of Haiti. Twice against Honduras in qualifying. Friendly defeat to Tunisia in March. They're normally good for a goal. It's experience. Again, it's another excellent delivery into the box, and it doesn't seem to matter if it's left or right side they're attacking from. They've managed to give Angus Gunn a few flutters.
Yeah, they have, but I think what's important is that, you know, they do really well, as you say, whether it's left or right. But if it's Jack Hendry, Grant Hanley, they're tight. They're making sure that there's no free headers. They're making sure they're defending the man, not getting drawn to the ball.
You see Dietzen, who was pretty good in the first half, being replaced by Josue Casimir, who plays for Auxerre in France. He's a striker, but he wasn't exactly amongst the goals terribly often. And the season just finished.
Yeah, Dietzen looked really bright in the first half. Haven't seen much of him in this second half. Most of the play has come down on the left-hand side with Providence and experience.
Time out for the Scottish defence here. A chance to try and find this second goal. Robertson with it. Scuffed away. The man is just on the ref blowing his whistle. He spotted something.
The ball comes off the referee.
There it is.
I mean, the ball is going to a Scotland player, so well, that's what the frustration is.
Didn't see that initially. We are, however, a long way up here in the heavens.
But what a fantastic view.
Yeah, I mean, these stadiums are like spaceships out here. It's phenomenal. I've already seen in New Jersey, Los Angeles, San Francisco, just wonderful grounds, because the Azteca opened the tournament. Casimir. Shankland doing the dirty work and winning the free kick.
Excellent. We saw it from Gannon Doak earlier. Everyone having to do their defensive shift for the team. Shanklin reads it brilliantly. Manages to win it back. Worry there for Haiti to go through. It's almost exactly the same as the opening for the Scotland goal. Ball in behind, wonderful touch over the shoulder. Haiti couldn't capitalise on it.
The pitch again. Haiti, the 7th CONCACAF nation that Scotland have faced after the USA, Canada, Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, most notably, Costa Rica. Bellegarde has overhit that. It's been a pretty even match, hasn't it, actually, over the course of it?
Yeah, it has, and I think that Haiti have shown how good they could be on the counter-attacks. That final pass to really create the opening, but they go, they win the ball, they get the other side of the midfield, right at that back line, and they go in numbers. It's just that decision that's let them down at times, but they're still going. They're still believing they can get that equaliser. Quite rightly so.
Well, Meunier, their manager, will feel aggrieved that they're behind. John McGinn's goal still the difference at the moment. Heading towards the final quarter. Adi to Arcus. Possession is bang level right now, 50-50.
Yeah, hasn't been much in it at all. William.
Nice switch out towards experience. He's kept it in play. Delcroix. Jean-Jacques Paul, Gunn has it in his gloves. And free kick for the goal scorer. And the ref is signalling for the rehydration break here in the second half. And Scotland's lead, which they have enjoyed since the 28th minute, remains intact. You can scan the QR code to have your say with BBC Sports player rater. Who has stood out for you? Who has stood out for you, James McFadden?
It's been tough because it's been about the team performance. Obviously, you've got John McGinn, the goal scorer. I think defensively, Hanley and Hendry, when balls come into the box, have defended it well. Lewis Ferguson spotting the danger. As you know, when Haiti managed to get the other side, and you know, when we've managed to get Gannon Doak on the ball and get him forward, he's looked dangerous. Andy Robertson's put a couple of really good crosses in. I think it's been, without being an outstanding team performance, it's been a real team performance, having to go and, you know, work hard for each other, and that is not a surprise.
Yeah, what a moment in the career of John McGinn as well. He's had many of those. It's been a dream few weeks for him, helping his club Aston Villa, who he of course captains to that Europa League title. Yeah, going back to Graham Souness to find the last Scot to captain a side to a European trophy, and he's come up with a massive moment in his international career tonight. You think of some of those great Scotland World Cup moments of the past. Jimmy Murray scoring the first ever goal at a World Cup against Yugoslavia in 1958. The goalless draw with the mighty Brazil in the unbeaten campaign in 74. Gemmel's goal against the Dutch in 78. Dave Neary giving the Scots the lead against Brazil in 82. Albeit all that did was annoy them, for they ran amok. Gordon Strachan scoring against the West Germans 4 years later. John Collins' penalty, despite the fact it was a defeat. Scotland level in the Stade de France in Saint-Denis in '98. But right now, we're in this position, and remember, third place could be good enough. 8 of the 12 third-place sides will go through to the knockouts. And Scotland are hoping, clearly, to finish in the top 2, which would make things a lot less stressful. It's going to be a tall order to do that with Brazil and Morocco also in the section. And we reckon 3 points and a goal difference in the ballpark of -1, maybe -2, give or take, would be enough to get you through, which is why these next 20-odd minutes are so enormous for Steve Clarke and his players.
Yeah, they're huge, and I know people will be looking at goal difference, and it is potentially going to come into it, but if you don't have the points, the goal difference doesn't matter. So I think, you know, first of all, focus on winning the game, which they have done. I think Steve Clarke spoke in the build-up, and John McGinn and, you know, the players about, you know, the disappointments and mistakes they made in the Euros, particularly in Germany. Also the one when it was the home one, the games at Hampden. And he mentioned about, you know, making changes and when he made the changes, and did they wait too long. And I think that there has been a lot of learning, and I'm sure we'll see Steve Clarke go to the bench and freshen the team up.
Yeah, that's coming forthwith, by the way. Lyndon Dykes is being readied down there. So McGinn is taken out of the game, and Jean-Jacques puts his point across, but well, way up here, that looked pretty cut and dried, really.
Yeah, look, I think John McGinn slows down, and there is a coming together. He does take him out, but I don't think that's too intentional. I have to say, I'm surprised once again the yellow card doesn't come out. No matter if it's intentional or not, he does clip him.
Well, what a time this would be to get that second goal, which might be enough to put this game out of Haiti's reach. And it comes. And flicked away, though there's a appealing Scott McTominay having a word with the referee here.
Yeah, there's a bit of wrestling going on there. Keep an eye on McTominay. He's let go probably just in time. Yeah, throws himself down there. And there's a bit of holding from both of them, but I think that's good defending.
Ryan Christie is also going to be on shortly. Steve Clarke shakes things up. There's Ade for Haiti. Down went Piero, he's not getting a free kick. As McGinn eventually gets it out to Robertson. Just feels like there's a little bit of a period of calm going on here for the Scotland team.
Yeah, I think it's massive important there is a period of calm. You don't want to get then end to end. Scotland are chasing nothing. They have a lead. Of course, go and try and get that second goal, but doesn't have to be over-committing and getting desperate, because what it does is leave gaps to a team that they know want to exploit them.
Robertson. Away by Delcroix. Hickey's kept it alive. Chance for McGinn. And it's a chance he hasn't taken. He too has his arms outstretched. And a huge opportunity for his and Scotland's second.
That's a chance to put the game out of sight. Takes a good first touch, Sean McGinn. He's got time. He just doesn't get the connection. What a moment that would have been for him.
Haiti, meantime, with Providence. 1-2's right side. No takers. Isidor's not far away, though.
And it's something they've done really well, Haiti. When Scotland have looked like they can go and get another goal, they've hit back straight away. And they've looked dangerous. Once again, Providence at the heart of it. He's firing it for goal. Here's McGinn's chance. He has time. He is claiming he's wiped out by Addy. He should be hitting the target at the very least there, John McGinn. That was a huge, huge opportunity.
And he was caught, but the shot was well away. And I brought you news that 2 subs will be made by Steve Clarke. There's a third now emerged on the touchline in the shape of Nathan Patterson of Everton. He's one of the players who'd been nursing a knock last weekend. And it's a bit of a waste from the skipper.
That's what I'm saying about getting too open. It's a slack pass when there's forward players ahead of the ball. Just giving momentum back to Haiti.
And the Haitians are looking to their bench as well. Gannon Doak has got himself back to his feet. And Scotland change is coming. And Gannon Doak comes off, as does Adams. On comes Dykes and Christie. And it will be Patterson for Hickey. And Haiti are going to bring on Ferenc Varosh's Lenny Joseph. He's been playing under Republic of Ireland legend Robbie Keane this season as they missed out on the Hungarian title. Came up against Rangers in the Europa League this season. Scored in the last 16 against Braga, but they were knocked out. Born in Paris. Striker. Both teams bringing the changes.
Yeah, well, I think the freshness was required from Steve Clarke. Dykes got there and helped. Shankland, they linked up well in the Curaçao game when they played together. And clearly, Aaron Hickey's coming back from horrendous injuries. Very difficult for him to play 90 minutes and just with fresh legs. And Ryan Christie can feel himself unfortunate not to be in the starting 11.
Isidore coming off for Haiti. And he's not had much to work off, despite Haiti's promising attacks and really good balls into the box.
Yeah, but I think he's been well defended by Hanley and Hendry whenever it's come across. They've made sure they're tight and they're marking the man and not the space. Clearly, you have to do that because of the danger that they pose.
His first touch for Joseph there, and it looked pretty useful too. He almost got Karlens Arkus involved. He was certainly interested.
It's a lovely flick. But again, someone is there to tidy up. Scott McTominay reads the situation, spots the danger.
And the Haitian supporters trying to rouse their side. .13 of the 90 to play. It's only half clear. And Casimir into Arkus. Plenty in the middle there. It's Robertson in the way of that. Dug out by Dykes. Nervous tension amongst the Scotland supporters right now. And those here, those watching in their droves in the wee hours back home. Jean-Jacques for Ade. Space out here for Casimir, who takes it down well. Faced by Christie, away from Christie, not once but twice. Here's Bellegarde on his right foot, blocked by Hanley. Given away by McTominay though. Providence for Haiti. Here's a corner. They're knocking on the door here.
Yeah, they are. When you listen to the noise, reaction from this Haiti crowd. And Scott McTominay had a chance to go and play a pass there. He tries to do it on his own, he overruns it. And all it does is allow Haiti to keep the momentum in the attack. Plenty of Haiti fans in the stadium now making noise. They believe their team can get themselves level here.
Ruben Providence over the corner. Scotland with everyone back to defend it. And defend it they do. And Dykes away. It's good play with Providence again. He's been excellent in the second half in particular. And Angus Gunn will be delighted to see Casemiro have a go from there.
Yeah, it's a team effort, but they're certainly getting the confidence up. I've been saying that it's never dropped for them, even though they've been behind. It's never dropped. You can see they still believe they can cause problems. Lovely.
Brilliant by McGinn. Just announcing it's a full house in here tonight. Crowd of just under 65,000.
Given the costs involved, they're coming here to support. An absolutely tremendous effort. It was never in doubt.
Another double change coming up for Scotland here. Kenny McLean and Finlay Curtis waiting in the wings. Here's McGinn. He goes down, he's not getting the free kick, and now Providence is away. Slip through to the left for Joseph. And the two of them, Joseph and then Providence, you're going to have to settle for the corner kick.
Yeah, but it comes from a position where Scotland are a real strength. They have the ball, good possession. John McGinn just takes too long on it. And Haiti once again showing that they're so dangerous on the counter. Again, it's defended well in the end by Scotland, but it's coming from situations that Scotland have control. Haiti are just waiting to pounce.
We suspect they will get an opportunity between now and full time. It's never stress-free with Scotland. And it comes away by Ferguson. That match momentum graphic's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. I think it shows you the way the game's gone. Haiti have certainly looked brighter. Scotland not often many threats in the last maybe 10-15 minutes. And I'd still like to see someone test the goalkeeper from distance. He's not really been tested at all.
Dykes strong against Addy. Here's McGinn. Doesn't beat the first man. That's a little loose. Christie. Oh, that's controversial call. You can see the look of disbelief on Ryan Christie's face there. Just signed a new deal with Bournemouth. And the changes then. McGinn off, and he'll be replaced by Finlay Curtis, who spent the second half of last season on loan at Kilmarnock from Rangers. And scored against Curaçao in that friendly win. So he knows what it takes to score against CONCACAF opponents. And Lawrence Shankland comes off as well. And on comes Kenny McLean. He could be doing with one of his shots from the halfway line at this point, I would have thought.
Or he's tied the finish in Oslo. Either or, it doesn't matter. But certainly Finlay Curtis coming on. That little bit of freshness, that fearlessness. Of course, he's going to have to do the work for the team, but I say it every time I speak about him. He gets chances. He does, you know, cut inside and gets chances, and desperate for someone to go and test the goalkeeper.
And going more pragmatic in these closing stages. You can understand why.
Yeah, understandable, but Scott McTominay goes further forward and he then becomes a striker, so it's still essentially the same formation, the same instruction. He certainly will drop in a little bit more, and the onus will be on Lyndon Dykes to go and get hold of the ball. It's not a total backward step from Steve Clarke.
He's a striker as a youngster, Scott McTominay, and when you see the goals he scores, notably that bicycle kick against the Danes, and got the party started last November. Robertson can't quite work it into the path of Curtis. They're so near yet so far to a first World Cup finals victory since 1990. And nothing other than 3 points will do to then be on the back foot and go head-on into matches against Morocco and Brazil, 2 top 10 sides in the FIFA rankings currently. Brazil, multiple winners of the tournament, obviously. Morocco made the semis 4 years ago. They have to try and stay firm in the face of what Haiti are going to throw at them here. Swung into the box! It's wide from Piero, who holds his head in his hands.
I thought it was in. I mean, it's another outstanding delivery from the wide area. And he gets up well, Piero. He'll be disappointed he hasn't been able to hit the target there. It's the one time he's got himself free. Hanley just caught underneath it behind him. I thought it was in.
Yeah, I was waiting for the net to ripple myself there. So Providence off Yassine Fortuné comes on and plays in the second tier in Portugal with Vizela. He was on the books at Arsenal once upon a time. There's a chance for Joseph to run, but Patterson gets it away. There's McTominay. And dancing his way through Christie. McTominay, lovely flick. Suddenly it's opened up for him, but Hans Del Qua reacts brilliantly.
Superb defending. It's a great driving run from Scott McTominay. A little pass into his path from Ryan Christie. And he does Del Qua initially, but he gets back and defends it brilliantly once again.
Well, how are the fingernails back home? There are plenty being bitten inside this stadium right now, including the man to my right. We're into the closing stages here.
Yeah, it's not comfortable, I have to say, but the gaps could open up here for Scotland.
Robertson. Curtis. Oh, he wasn't quite able to pop that into the head of Dykes.
Initially, I think the pass from Andy Robertson slightly behind him, and when he cuts back, yeah, maybe Lyndon Dykes already made the run. He's wanting that cross to come with the left foot. He'd made his run, and then he gets back into a position. Curtis is expecting him to be there. He isn't. Haiti are going to throw everything at it now. Scotland can defend and be solid, narrow, compact, and they have the chance to go and catch them on the break. But the defending part's the most important part.
A lot of hearts beating loudly in a lot of chests right now. Del Qua for Bellegarde. Fortuné. The clock ticking slowly to 90 minutes. Ade's cross. Needs to get it away. It's an important touch by McLean. There was an advantage there, which the referee either didn't spot or wasn't willing to allow.
Yeah, there was a chance there. As the ball drops, Andrew gets there. Very soft, you have to say. McTominay picked the ball up. Lyndon Dykes was in if he plays that in front of him. But it's a couple of times now. You think of the header from Piero. He's free. That ball comes into the box. Not enough pressure initially. Of course, it's dealt with in the end.
And the big screens in here, and they're the biggest screens I think I've ever seen. I've just shown the Scotland supporters' reaction in the fan zone in Boston to John McGinn's first half goal that continues to separate the two sides. Ade out to Arcos. Marcus again. They've committed plenty forward here, Haiti, and it all breaks down. And that is a delightful sight for Steve Clark down below us. And Stephen Naismith and Alan Irvin. And this could be a historic night. At times it's not been very pretty. The first win at a World Cup finals in 36 years is getting ever closer. Minute 90.
Main aim was win the game, Liam. Didn't have to be pretty. The most important part for Scotland tonight is win the game, get 3 points. It's been a long time since I've been at the World Cup, as everybody knows. A long time since winning a game. And what a start it would be to the campaign.
Maurice Johnston, the last man to score a winning goal for Scotland in a World Cup finals match. There's a foul by McTominay, or Patterson rather, after the opportunity arose for McTominay earlier. He hit the post in the first half. Hasn't been able to get into too many goal-scoring positions apart from that. Experience. The stoppage time is going to be 6 minutes. And we're into the first of them. Quick throw to Bellegarde. Away from Christie. Couldn't get it past Ferguson though. And here's McTominay, and Curtis is sprinting away on his left. Finlay Curtis on his left side. And the right idea with Ferguson lurking. Ade heads clear. And that's going to be a foul by Curtis, who has been booked for his troubles. High boot.
I mean, we're miles away. You can see from here there's little to no contact. And he does really well in the attack, Finlay Curtis.
It was never going to be easy, was it?
No, absolutely not. Scotland, Liam. You imagine the pressure these players are feeling coming into this game, and having been at major tournaments before, and every one of them saying themselves have disappointed in the performances and the results. So the pressure is huge, regardless of whether the preparation from our point of view looked like it was outstanding. They still have to go over that white line. They're the ones that have to carry that burden. They've managed to do it brilliantly, getting to 3 major tournaments, and they deserve all the credit for that. But the pressure these players were under coming into this game is absolutely huge, and they've still got a long way to go.
And will certainly feel that way.
Yeah.
Who's watching this? Haiti come again. And it's too high. It'll be a throw-in down by the corner flag. Angus Gunn knows he keeps a clean sheet. Scotland have a historic victory. Quickly onto the scene there, didn't like the challenge by Dykes. And big Charlton striker. In on Martin Experience.
I mean, there's a sore one for Experience. He's gone back the way Lyndon Dykes are coming forward. Just an unfortunate collision in terms of the pain for Experience, but probably the right decision.
Bellegarde's free kick is poor. Marcus has to go back the way. Scotland have negotiated half of the stoppage time. Long from Placide. Oh, that's come through to Gunn, and again the appeals from the Haitian supporters. As Piero hit the deck.
Again, dangerous. Long ball, direct, they do really well because the two strikers are so close together that they know that they only need to get that little flick. Almost comes for Piero.
We saw Switzerland stung by Qatar earlier on, and stoppage time equaliser. In Group A, Scotland determined not to suffer the same fate, but Christie's given it away in its experience. Bellegarde. And that will do. And Robertson. And that didn't look great by Kenny McLean there. The yellow's out. You can see the reaction from Josue Casimir down there. Apparent agony and no real complaining from Kenny McLean.
No wonder. I mean, maybe the force isn't there, but there's no doubt it's high. It's on the knee. It's a sore one for him.
Is yellow the right decision?
I mean, yeah, I think clearly they're going to have a look at it. And because of the height, maybe because the ball was in the air, it might be enough for him just to go with the on-field decision. But certainly when you go in that high, and I know there's not a lot of force in it.
McLean might have a little nervy wait as we saw a nervy moment for the Scotland defence as Piero headed wide.
It's a huge opportunity for Haiti, and we'll look at it mostly from a Scotland viewpoint. For Haiti, that is potentially the moment. And we're hoping they can get another one at least.
Well, the Scotland supporters are heading to Fenway Park tomorrow to watch the Red Sox. And the baseball taking on the Texas Rangers tomorrow evening. They're setting up camp in Boston with Morocco to come here on Friday. There's no suggestion the ref's going to come over to the monitor to potentially upgrade this yellow to red.
I don't think there's a lot of force in it, and it's the reason why they're sticking with the decision. It comes then reckless. It's not endangering an opponent because of the force. I know it's high and it's on the knee. And certainly Kenny McLean with his heart in his mouth for a second there.
It's come very late in the day, right enough. We played the 6 minutes. A couple of minutes bolted on to the top of that experience. He's thinking about it. And to everyone in Scotland, delightfully.
Yeah, I mean, he's never said it, didn't look confident. I know that he's driving, and he has played well coming inside and being, you know, a danger, a threat, mostly. It's been when he's going on his left foot. As soon as he comes inside, he's running out of pitch and he's off balance. It's never, ever troubling Angus Gunn.
McTominay, no misunderstanding. Here with Curtis, it's a seconds tick down.
It's not a misunderstanding, he has to play the ball in. Finlay Curtis had gone and offered to play the bounce pass. I get turned. McTominay takes extra touch and looks like he's going to drive forward. Then Curtis feels, I need to move.
And Placide under pressure from Dykes. Had to give that up, really. Took no chances. And it means Scotland have the ball where they want it right now. It's all eyes on him. Well, the Scotland supporter sense victory. And it is close now. Here's McLean. McTominay battling for it, comes off him last. And we played almost 2 on top of the 6. And so it came to pass. Scotland are back at the World Cup, and Scotland have won at the World Cup. John McGinn's first half goal was enough. His 21st for his country. And it sends the Tartan Army wild with delight here in Massachusetts and back home as well. A first victory in the tournament since the 16th of June 1990, when Mo Johnston's goal sealed a win over Sweden. And now a realistic shot of an historic group stage qualification. 3 of the 4 points it will take to get them there, for sure, have been claimed tonight. 3 may be enough. It may just be enough. With the giants of Brazil and Morocco to come. And celebrations everywhere, from here in Foxborough to the wee hours in Fort William, Golspie to Girvan. Celebrations all round, and rightfully so. Steve Clarke has won a major tournament match for the first time. He's managed to chalk that one off. Haiti beaten, they knew this was their best opportunity for 3 points. And whilst it was a performance that they'll feel deserved more than what they've ultimately got from it, it is no points for them. And for Scotland, they will now laser in on the Moroccan semi-finalists in 2022. What a challenge it will be, but they're in the best possible place now. History made tonight. It finished here at the Boston Stadium. Haiti 0, Scotland 1.
And someone inside the stadium has got the memo, because the Scotland fans are singing and dancing to Yes Sir, I Can Boogie. Huge scenes of celebration. Scott Brown, did it need to be that hard?
Jesus. It's an emotional game. And look, for the lads to win the first game since 1990 is incredible.
First game at a World Cup since 1990 against Sweden,
and
yeah.
For us just to get the 3 points, we're sitting top of the group, it's incredible. We didn't have the best second half performance. We've all got to be honest, but we had to grind out, and we knew we were going to grind out. And like, Haiti aren't a bad team, but we needed to make sure we got the 3 points on the board, and they'd done what they had to do.
And that's the thing, Rachel. You can see the celebrations from the Scotland fans who've gone over there. A lot of them will have travelled over, obviously, from Scotland. It's been really expensive. It's been really difficult to get there. It's been difficult to get tickets. All of that. Difficult even just to get into the ground today. And they're over there and they're celebrating a first win in the World Cup for Scotland in 36 years. And, you know, we will look back at the game itself. But that's the top line from this.
Absolutely, and we should celebrate. It's the right thing to do. We've won a game at a World Cup, a really important game. And yes, we didn't do certain phases of the game that well, but other phases I thought we were excellent. I think the work of the midfielders was superb. Ferguson, excellent. McTominay, excellent. And then defensively, in the right moments, we were really tough to break down. I think 2 shots on target they've managed. They've missed a huge chance in that second half, as you say. We'll get to it. But otherwise, I think there was lots of that game we dealt with really well. And Scott's right. There's so much emotion. There's so much anticipation ahead of today. We've been building up for this game since November. Enormous result. Brilliant.
Joe, do you think there was an element of just all of that emotion, even that hangover from November coming into this game? Yes, I know they had the warm-up wins over Curacao, who were down to 10 men, and against Bolivia as well for Scotland. But was there a hangover, do you think, or a pressure from the anticipation, maybe?
I think there was a little bit of pressure, but that comes with the World Cup, and credit to the boys, they've done an exceptional job tonight. That's not easy what they've done. You know, to have the nation, you know, they'll have felt all the passion, they'll have felt everything in and around Boston in the days recently, all the messages from home, and they know they were going to this World Cup to deliver, and they have done. Look, of course it wasn't pretty, but we've seen many of these games. No one's flowed yet, absolutely nobody. So for them to do what they've done and get through and get over the line, Steve Clarke's actually smiling, so they must have done something special.
Steve Clarke's a new man. Steve Clarke's decided he's going over to this World Cup to try and enjoy himself and to make sure that the players enjoy every moment, which presumably is why they're taking their time to go over and spend time with the Scotland fans who've travelled and looking out for their families in the crowd as well.
Absolutely, milk it. And they will be looking out for family and loved ones that they know have travelled, as you say, but also they'll just appreciate all the fans that are enjoying this moment. That's what we've always been about in Scotland. It's about doing these moments together. And you know, like we've said, it's an absolutely fantastic first result. This is what we wanted. We wanted it so bad for us to get off on a positive start. We have.
Do you know, I'm just watching Joe Hart's face as he's watching these celebrations as Scotland have beaten Haiti, one of the lowest ranked teams in the competition, by a 1-0 and made it really difficult for themselves in this game. Just explain why this is such a big win for Scotland.
Joe, we never do anything easily.
The images aren't me. I'm not hating, I'm enjoying it. I wish I was in that stadium now.
You wish you were Scottish, really, don't you?
Absolutely not.
You're about 70%.
No, you've gone way too far there, Scott. Way too far, Scott.
No, that's true. You weren't being dismissive of the celebrations, but it was that... It's a different perspective altogether, Scott.
Yeah, it's amazing for us. And look, we go back to the last World Cup win. So long ago, there's probably so many fans in there that's never seen Scotland at a World Cup, never seen us win a game, and for them to pay the amount of money to go over there, to enjoy it and to share the special moment with the players as well, and the backroom staff as well, which they've done for the last 2 years to get to the World Cup. Like, everybody throughout the nation deserves this, and everyone that's staying up watching this as well deserves this.
Yeah, it's been a long old day that's culminating at nearly 4:30 in the morning as we get to the end of the coverage of this match. But there are great scenes of celebration out there. They're making sure that they're all out there on the pitch. We've talked about that sense of club mentality at international level. But also there's a physical element to this, Rachel, and Steve Clarke was saying this after the Curaçao game about the levels of physical preparation that have gone into getting Scotland ready for this, and maybe a little bit tonight in terms of the performance. We saw that take its toll a bit.
I think a little bit, but equally, I think we've got a plan, and I think some of the changes particularly were made with the intention of knowing the 2 games that are to come and the fact that certain players will need for a considerable amount of time. But I thought the players all dealt with it really well, to be honest. I think you couldn't necessarily tell. I think Gannon Doak struggling a little bit towards the end with cramp. You can understand that because he's one of those explosive players, potentially more susceptible to just running out of fuel a little bit earlier than others. But on the whole, I think the players will have galvanised from just the occasion. And I think as well the fact when you're 1-0 up later in the game, naturally you kind of drift back and you get to manage the situations. But I thought on the whole, fantastic.
I just saw Steve Clarke chatting to the group of players. They were talking to Andy Robertson a little bit earlier on. He's still giving them messages at the final whistle. He's already looking ahead to the next game against Morocco and then that final group game against Brazil.
Yeah, and there'll also be messages that he'll know full well that his players are going to have to go out and speak to the press. They're the sort of messages, that's a manager, that's someone who's looking after his team, not get carried away. He's allowing them to enjoy this moment, and of course he is. He's enjoying this moment.
The stadium. That fast turnaround of games in a tournament.
It is, it's one of those, and very much so. They're saying let's enjoy the moment, but tomorrow they know it's business because they're here to do a job. They're here to take on Morocco, they're here to take on Brazil. So those the little subtle messages, but these are awesome scenes. I love it. I'm so pleased for them. They've worked so hard to get over there. Everyone's partying, and why not? They've just done something really, really special, and they've done it together. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, they have done it together, and they've managed to get that 1-0 victory, a first win in the World Cup for 36 years since Scotland beat Sweden in Italia 1990, and they are celebrating because they are top of Group C, a group that, remember, contains Brazil and contains Morocco. They drew against each other, and even the police inside the stadium are taking videos of the Scotland fans.
It shows you how passionate the Scotland fans are. You can see them, they're still in the building, they don't want to leave, and even the police are enjoying.
And the stewards, there's a steward, an official World Cup steward in there who's joining in with the dancing, and they're managing to take everybody along with them on this journey. And we've seen the scenes from Boston as the Scotland fans have made their way over to Massachusetts to go and celebrate. And there's actually, for fans who didn't have a ticket, there was a fan park in Boston, and that was when the full-time whistle was blown, because that was nervy as we led up to that final whistle. And it was just as nervy as they were watching on in Glasgow. Hands on head, and then you'll see the moment when the final whistle goes. But I think part of the reaction that we're seeing is because it was so tense at the end of that game. And Scotland really didn't need to make it that difficult, Rachel.
Well, that can be just the difficulty of the occasion and the situation. I think we probably had 1 or 2 opportunities. The John McGinn shot when he was just slipping it down the side and inside the box, left foot. That's an opportunity that we've seen him score from.
And this is lovely viewing for Scotland fans, isn't it? Scotland top of the group.
Can we keep it up?
Yeah.
Just for a little
I'll tell you
longer.
what we'll do is we'll put it up again in a little while because we're going to hear from Steve Clarke, who's talking to Ailey.
Steve, just look around you, listen to the noise. I'm sure you'll pick the bones out of everything over the coming days, but is this just a time to drink this moment of history in?
Absolutely. Just said to the captain there, Andy Robertson, it's about time we won a game in the group stage. They probably put the supporters through it a little bit. Everyone said must-win game. We won the game.
Absolutely won it. Top of the group as well after match day 1, but we've heard the word resilience a lot since qualifying for this tournament. How much resilience was required tonight?
This is what this team's all about. If teams let them play, they can play, but if they have to dig in and show that character and that resilience, that's what they do as well. Defensively, outstanding. Could have been probably a little bit better with the ball, but who cares, we won.
You did absolutely well done, Steve. Thank you so much.
And I think that is very much the sentiment of all the Scotland fans, certainly the ones in the stadium and probably most of them who are sitting watching at home or out at fan parks or out in pubs watching this game. So there to see the table again, Rachel.
Lovely.
With Scotland right at the top with a maximum of 3 points from their one game so far against Haiti. We imagine are going to struggle in this group. But Scotland have got off to the best possible start and they've got themselves a victory. And it came down to a goal from John McGinn. And again, you know, as Steve Clarke said, doesn't really matter how we played, who cares, we won. In the same way, doesn't really matter how the goal was scored, who cares, it was a goal. I'm spot on with Steve and with John as well. He'll not bother how that goal goes in. Steve's happy we've got 3 points. And there's so much pressure on every single person, especially Steve as well. Everyone talks about the players and that, and the amount of pressure that he puts on himself is incredible. But this is what Scotland's all about. You can see Shea Adams getting in behind, then goal, inch perfect, great touch and fantastic finish, shall I say, for John. But, a once-in-a-lifetime finish from John McGinn, who kicks it into the ground and then gets a deflection on the way. John's not caring. He's away celebrating like it's one of the best goals he's ever scored. And that's what it means to him. That's what it means to the Scotland fans and the players as well. It's just nobody really cares how that ball goes in the back of the net or how we managed to win the game. The main thing is we've got 3 points. And they did create lots of opportunities in the game. In the first half, Scotland, particularly in the early stages of the first half, it was a big goal for John McGinn to be able to do that. He did have, and I tell you what, before we see the other chance that he had in that game, we can hear from him with Ailey.
Will you ever look back on that?
Oh, it's crazy. Wasn't my best of goals, but who cares? It's been a long time coming. Look at this, man, yeah. Absolutely unbelievable. I scuffed that a wee bit. Haiti are a decent team, by the way. They played New Zealand off the pitch, Peru as well, and tonight we had to work hard for it. Could we play a bit better? Aye, but it's a must-win game and we won, so absolutely over the moon.
I know, and you look around you, what it means to all of these supporters in here, what it will mean to everybody back home as well. And I know what it means to you, group of players as well. This is what you came here to do and you got the job done.
Aye, we did. We've been through a lot of heart as a country. A generation of supporters haven't seen this. The pride on my face this morning, seeing all the kids going to the parks in a Scotland kit, painting their face. Hopefully, when they get up tomorrow, they'll be absolutely beaming with pride, because I am. What a win, and it sets us up for Friday.
Does indeed. Well done, John.
Thank you. Cheers.
Andy Robertson, in his message to Scotland, when he read out the letter to Scotland, said kids going and recreating those moments in the playground the next day. I'm not necessarily sure they'll be able to recreate that goal in particular. But look, he did have another chance in the game, John McGinn, to really put it beyond Haiti. Just didn't quite come off, Rachel.
It was a great opportunity. And one that, you know, if you could pick someone to fall to in the left foot, it would certainly be John McGinn. But it's a good attack initially. You see, again, bodies in the box, asking questions. We did that really well. Hickey, probably an element of fortune, does good position to sustain the attack, just sends it forward. And I think John gets a really good first touch, sets him up. He just sort of comes across. It doesn't connect with it as he'd like to. And that probably was our only real other big chance I felt in the second half, which...
He was trying to shout for a penalty here, but I think... I don't think he had a great chance of getting it, did he?
He's clutching a bit there. He knows that's a massive opportunity. What a great technician. of a guy who keeps writing incredible scripts recently. You wouldn't have been surprised if he drilled that in the bottom corner.
It was an all-round excellent performance from him. And, you know, Steve Clarke had said in terms of selecting him, it was the most difficult decision of his managerial career to go with John McGinn over Ryan Christie in the starting lineup.
I'm sure now it's not, if you look at it.
But does it make it a clearer decision going forward to the games against Morocco and then potentially against Brazil if there's something on that one?
Yeah, I think Ryan Christie plays in both of them. I think we end up going back to one up front and we'd be a little bit more compact in the middle of the park and try and use Ryan's legs, because he comes on, he's fantastic. Defensive work, he'll go forward, he'll keep the ball, and he fights for you as well. And it's what you probably need. And I think Steve's probably thought ahead, let's say we need 2 strikers on the pitch to try and score a goal. Look, it was effective today. It worked really well. Are we going to have as much possession, as much opportunities against Morocco and Brazil, or do we need a Ryan Christie, someone a little bit more defensive, willing to run back to do that? But don't take nothing wrong away from Shanklin and Ben Doak today. They were exceptional getting back, helping out and doing the defensive work. But I just think Ryan gives you that extra bit of legs in the middle of the park.
Let's head back to Boston and we can rejoin James McFadden. James, you were telling us before the game that you were really confident. Now, we said at half-time there was a bit of relief as well as celebration of the John McGinn goal. Were you expecting it to be quite so tense in the latter stages?
No, because it doesn't happen very often, Kelly, as you well know. Winning games at major tournaments is not something that Scotland do regularly. I think that many people before the game overlooked Haiti as being a threat just because, you know, the world ranking, because they're not, you know, one of the well-known sides. But you knew their strengths, you knew that they were capable of, you know, causing problems. And they did that. You have to say they had a great chance. Piero, he won't sleep tonight with that header, because that's a brilliant chance for them. But I think that the resilience shown is, you know, that's what's been forced for this group. The disappointments, you know, the games where players coming off the pitch and wondering, could have done a little bit more. If this happened, you know, it could have been so different. So that was all about just seeing the game out. A 1-0 victory at the World Cup, absolutely take it all day long, especially when you've got, you know, a really good chance of getting through to the next stages. So it's going to be tough the next 2 games. But winning this game, you heard John McGinn and Steve Clarke say it, a must-win game. And we can say that, but that tells you they've been saying it. And they've dealt with that pressure, and that's not easy. To get the pressure of getting a victory first of all, but at the World Cup, at major finals, it wasn't enjoyable. But I said before the game to a lot of people, if you can guarantee me a 1-0, an ugly 1-0, I will take it right now. So we've got it, I'll take it, let's move on.
And the other word that you used, James, and it's a word that Ailey put to Steve Clarke as well, was resilience. And that ability to dig in. He said, look, if you want this team to play, they can play, but also they need to be able to do this. And he looked genuinely delighted with the performance.
Yeah, he did, because it's a win, and that's what, you know, you need to win no matter how you do it. Everybody wants to see great football and it being pretty and eye-catching and winning 3 and 4-0. Of course, we all do. Steve Clarke wants to see that, but he wants to see the character in his team. I thought he saw that in abundance. It wasn't pretty, the football wasn't perfect, there's loads for them to work on, but you work on that on the basis of winning the game. It's not about, you know, oh, you come up short against Haiti, everybody expects you to win. It's about, you've won the game, let's see what happens next. And Scott was speaking about the change of system. There's a flexibility within this squad. The difficulty of the decision to leave Ryan Christie out, I think he's been probably the best player over the 2 friendlies coming into this game. But that's the strength we have. And the character, the togetherness in the squad, absolutely amazing. I have to say, the scenes in this stadium after the game, absolutely tremendous. It was rocking. This is massive, and it was rocking. The Scotland fans loving it, and the players and the manager and the coaching staff rightfully deserving the adulation from the crowd, because we will take a win at the World Cup any day of the week.
James, the scenes inside the stadium were fantastic, and the Scotland fans in Boston have been fantastic. I know you joined them last night. Will you be joining them again tonight?
It's too late, Kelly. I'm up early in the morning, so I might leave that until tomorrow night. But no, look, they deserve their night.
Quiet,
I'm
clean
sure that
living
will
kind
continue.
of guy, James.
I am now. I'm a changed man. Changed man.
James, congratulations. Thank you very much for...
thanks very much.
Congratulations on your lifestyle change. and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Thanks very much to James McFadden there. Look, he mentioned one, his lifestyle change, and he also mentioned the fact that it was nervy, you know, the fact that it was such a narrow lead for Scotland, that it meant that anything that Haiti created was creating these really tense moments. And Piero's header, I mean, the way James put it was he's not going to sleep tonight thinking about that opportunity.
Yeah, it's a huge chance. And it's one of the few times that we maybe were a little sloppy. I think you see in the aftermath, Hendry's really furious about the fact we actually allowed the delivery to come in. We've got bodies there central. I actually think Hendry probably is a little too far forward. And it's between him and Handley, I think we can deal with that a little quicker and get closer. But that said, you see there, great delivery, and he's trying to guide it into that far corner, and he just ever so slightly gets it wrong. It's incredibly close. I mean, we all thought it was in. I think the commentary team thought it was in. It was a heart-and-mouth moment for us, but a sore one for him to have missed.
Yeah, but it wasn't in, and Scotland win by 1-0. Let's get more reaction now from inside the Scotland camp. Lewis Ferguson is with Ailey.
Lewis, you came here to do a job. You came here to start the World Cup on a positive note. And the scenes out there at the end, absolutely incredible. You've done exactly what you came here to do.
Yeah, amazing. The scenes at the end there, you know, these fans have waited so long for that. So that wee moment between the fans and the players and the staff and also the families as well at the end there was pretty special, and it was nice to take it all in. And it's just for me a feeling a relief when you just go over the line, because we were under a little bit of pressure towards the end. But you know, they're a good side. We came here to win the game. We've done that. We've got 3 points, and we'll move on to the next.
It's been such a positive build-up, but it's always a different thing going out there and doing it in the World Cup, particularly when it's been so long. What was the whole experience like in terms of settling down and getting into the game?
Yeah, it was difficult. I think there was a lot of pressure on us. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves as well to go and win the game. You know, there was a lot of people expecting us to win, and we expect ourselves to win. Of course, you know, we back ourselves, we believe in ourselves. I think we can play better. Of course, we can. We can create more chances, we can score more goals. But you know, we came here to do a job, and we've done that. You know, we win the game. We'll recover now. I don't know what the other results were in the group, but you know, we'll go on to the next one.
You topped the group because it was a draw in the other game, so that's always very nice. But they are a strong physical side, Haiti, and they did cause problems. That midfield battle as well looked particularly tough. How was it for you in there?
Yeah, it was tough. You know, I had a job to do. To be, you know, my job within this team is to be really disciplined, you know, and protect the back four. And then when I do get the ball, which to feed the likes of John McGinn, Scott McTominay players to go and make the magic happen. And I tried to do that today because a lot of their game is they're two forward players, they're two strikers. They look to hit them a lot. They're big lads, they're strong lads, and they look to play off that. And I just tried to stop the you know, the passes getting into them and cut out their biggest threat, which I feel as though I did. But you know, they're still a good side. They still created chances. They still put us under pressure. They've got some really good players. But I thought we actually defended pretty well. But like I said, we can be better and we will be better.
Yeah, clean sheet says it all. Well done. 3 points, top of the group. Brilliant stuff, Lewis. Thank you.
Yeah, Lewis Ferguson, whose job, as he said, is to be disciplined and to allow those players further forward to be able to play. But a clean sheet for Scotland in the end, and maybe just about, but a clean sheet for Scotland, a 1-0 victory. And a really good performance from Ben Gannon-Doak as well, Scott.
Yeah, I thought, especially early on in the first half, he was the main player for us, delivery-wise, 1v1. And you always fancy him to create something, but he really fancied it. And the left back will be having nightmares early doors in the game because he can go left, he can go right, and this is early doors in the game. And Joe talked about the confidence level and he crossed over paths when he was at Celtic, but this is the one I like. He's not always to feet, he's willing to go in behind, and that causes teams problems, especially at that point in time. It was 20-25 minutes into the game, and you want Ben Gannon-Doak 1v1, and like McTominay's away celebrating it. It's a fantastic, that little layoff at that time was brilliant. But then this is where you want him. Nice directness, and we get the goal from that. And him just having that little bit of quality in that final third, we end up scoring a goal. And you want to see players like that. And like when he goes off, he's a big miss because he has the pace, he has the quality, and he is the 1v1 that you want him to have, and that you're always going to miss him. But the amount of willingness that he puts in defending as well is just exceptional. This was late on, this is just before he gets taken off the cramp, but this is brilliant. This is what you want your winger doing all the way back the park. Look at that. I love that bit more than anything. The passion, the pride, knowing that he's done the defensive work as well as going forward. Look, the offensive work will take care of itself because he's a top quality player. But Steve will be making sure that he watches that back and going, there you go, wee man. You know you can do that.
Let's hear from another Scotland player now. Lawrence Shankland's with Ailey.
Lawrence, what a result. It was exactly what Scotland needed to get this World Cup started, and that moment at the end with the fans as well, all singing. They're all still inside there, still shouting everybody's names and singing for Scotland. What was that scenes at the end? What did that mean to you all as players, having got the job done tonight?
The end is what it's all about. When you look to the stand, you see all the fans, you see your families enjoying themselves, dancing around, and that's why you put the graft in all your life really to get to this moment. We obviously knew getting at the game tonight, it was one we needed to win. If I've been realistic about where we want to go, it was a game that there was pressure on us to win. I don't think anybody's under any illusions that it was our best performance in the world, but in competition football it's about winning, and we've managed to get the job done.
It is about winning, and that was a performance of resilience. It was a performance you had to dig deep in to get the victory. How much of a mature performance was that from a group of players who are really together coming into this World Cup?
We've done a lot of work defensively, obviously, playing the 4-4-2 system, and we worked on it a lot throughout our camp, and it was really important that we drilled that. I thought we'd done it really well. We forced all the play kind of around the outside areas and reduced our problems as much as we could. They're a good side, they've got some quality, really dangerous on the counter-attack as well, so we knew all the threats. I think all in all, we all know we can be a bit better on the ball, especially first half. I think second half we were a bit better, but performance-wise, we know we can be better, but we're just happy with the win.
Was that down to perhaps the pressure, the nerves? I mean, it's the biggest stage in world football.
I think so. It's human nature. There is nerves there. It's 28 years for a World Cup. Everybody's told us that and reminded us that. You feel the pressure getting at the game, and probably is a bit nervy out there at times. But we'll take confidence, figuring out there and getting a win. It was important. As I said, we knew the pressure on the first game as well. We knew that coming in. It's been a kind of 2.5 week build up towards that game, and we've got the 3 points, so we can be happy.
You can be happy, you're very much in it now. What do you take from the whole experience of getting to this point, getting the first game done, getting the first victory?
Belief in that experience. We've played our first game now. We've got over that hurdle, that kind of nervous side of things. We've experienced it now, and we move on to the next one. Obviously, 2 really difficult games to come, but we've got confidence. We've went out there and won.
You topped the group after game 1, so that's pretty good. Well done, Lawrence.
I'll take it. Cheers.
Well, after the game, there were scenes of huge celebration, and in the midst of all of that, Steve Clarke gave his on-the-whistle thoughts to Ailey. A little later, he gave her some more considered answers.
Steve, this first game, it was always going to be a big pressure on the players coming in, but it was a game that you knew you had to win, and I'm sure there must be a huge amount of pride within you right now to see the team win and the reception from the supporters as well.
Supporters, unbelievable at the end. I think the way the game panned out second half, we had something to hold on to. We defended really well. Could have been better with the ball. That's my only little downside. But listen, everyone told us it's a must-win game, and we've won it against a really difficult opponent. And I knew they would be difficult. So, a good night for the fans. And not too many big chances against us, although Haiti seemed to have a lot of the ball and putting a lot of the ball in the box. With 2 centre-backs outstanding, 2 full-backs. Defensively great. Probably could be a little bit better with the ball.
You've spoken a lot in the build-up to this about this being a tournament that you're going to use the whole squad, the players who came off the bench. They never let up that resilience, that fight that they held throughout that whole entire game. How pleasing is that for you to build on going forward?
I think when the substitutes come into the game, you know that the people on the pitch have done their shift, they've done their bit, and it's up to them. And I told them, you have to be ready whenever you're called for, whether it's in the first minute or the 91st minute, you have to be ready to help the team.
That start of the game, it started perhaps a little bit nervy. Was that understandable because of the pressure and the huge pressure that was on the group of players? You got that water break, scored straight after it. Was there anything said in that period?
No, it was just to tweak 1 or 2 things on the pitch, try to be better with the ball, try maybe not to run so much with the ball. But the shape of the team was okay, you know. Their shape was good, our shape was good. There was, like you say, nothing really happened at the start. It became pretty obvious to me early on that it was going to be a 1-goal game. thankfully we got the goal.
Yeah, they were a really tough side, really strong, really physical. The defensive side of the game, like you say, so important. A clean sheet, I know you like them. I mean, the goal as well obviously gives us the 3 points, but that clean sheet must be something that you can really use going forward against two really tough opponents.
Yeah, it's not something that gets spoken about too much, but if you defend well, you normally give yourself a bigger chance to win a game. So we defended well tonight, got a little break with the goal, the deflection. But this team, they work ever so hard to get those breaks. It's not like somebody just gives you them. They work hard to get those breaks. Not many Scottish teams win when it comes to the World Cup. I think that is victory number 5 or something over the whole history of Scotland in the World Cup finals. My boys are all right.
They are indeed all right, and you talk the great, brilliant stuff. Cheers, Steve.
Thanks, Ellie.
Thank you.
They're more than all right. It's a first World Cup win in 36 years since victory over Sweden in 1990. Steve Clarke delivering on his promise to make the World Cup more enjoyable for Scotland fans with that victory. Thank you very much to Joe. Thank you to Rachel. Thank you to Scott. Pub? It has been a long old night. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We hope we've delivered, and Scotland certainly did. After a 28-year wait for a World Cup appearance, 28 minutes in, and it was a winning one. Good morning.
The waiting is over. 10,218 days. Scotland are back in the big time. Brilliantly done, Adams! And begin and end! A goal for a nation! Angus Gunn gets away with it. Chance for McGinn. And there's a chance he hasn't taken. Shot into the box! It's wide!